Welcome everybody to episode 59 of the ADV podcast.
Yes.
Guess what? We've got a very funny, interesting, but also important episode for you today.
Yeah.
Well, what do you say we just stroll right into it?
Let's stroll.
Okay, let's do it. So we're going to start out, of course, with What's New, where we tell you what's new with regards to China and just other stuff we found out. We've got some pretty funny stuff for you today.
Yeah.
We will be talking, of course, about Tesla and Elon Musk in China. There's been a couple of developments.
Oh, yeah, I want to say stuff that you might not have seen.
Yes.
We saw some people were covering like, oh, that woman jumped on the Tesla and she's like, oh, Teslas will kill you because the brakes suck.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little more.
We will, but we're going to get into some serious action the government's been taking against Teslas.
Yeah, anyway, guys, let's start out with a little bit of a mistake. Okay. So what's going on with this? Maybe you can lead up.
It's very simple. It's just an interview with a Chinese politician on Swedish media. And the Swedish dude is basically asking him about the boycott.
Remember this? The Swedish Chinese consulate sent that threatening letter to the journalist living in Taiwan.
Right.
So they've been called out on it. Unfortunately, it looks like the Swedish government is just too weak to actually expel the person responsible for threatening one of their own citizens from within their own borders. But they did still hold their feet to the fire a bit. So they put someone brought this guy in and asked him about it. So let's take a look.
När svenska medier skrev om den här H&M-bojkotten så skrev du ett brev till Expressens utsände i Taiwan och hotade honom med konsekvenser om han inte ändrade sin rapportering. Vad är det för konsekvenser?
首先吴磊森自称为中国问题专家，但是他既不在瑞典研究中国问题，也不在中国研究中国问题，而是跑到长期在台湾当然台湾也是中国的一部分，但是他在台湾
Okay, I mean, for those of you, especially those of you listening at home who can't speak Swedish,
or Chinese.
Or Chinese, yes. The interviewer asked him, why would you threaten this guy? And he says, well, this guy, Olesen, I'm getting his name wrong, but he claims to be a China expert, but how can he be a China expert? Because he's, left China and then he's spent most of his time, outside of China in Taiwan and Sweden. And then he catches himself and then he's like, but Taiwan's definitely still a part of China.
Taiwan is the 一部分的中国.
Yeah.
So he's like, it's definitely a part of China, but, and then he struggles. He keeps struggling if you play that out for a second.
Yeah.
台湾分裂当局。
He's like, oh, crap.
Yeah, he's made a mistake.
And the problem is, if you said that if you insinuate, even by accident, that China is not part of, or Taiwan's not part of China, the Chinese government's going to kick your ass.
Well, they should kick his ass. They kick his ass back to China because that's where he belongs.
Absolutely. Instead of threatening
people.
Swedish citizens.
But you see, there we go.
Sweden.
He's like, he can't be a Chinese expert because he's not in China. Mm-hmm. But they claim Taiwan is part of China, for those of you who are a little slow on this whole issue. And I think it's quite hilarious because, to be honest, Taiwan is not China.
No, it's
not.
It's its own country. Actually,
absolutely.
One might say Taiwan is number one.
Yes. What are you doing over there on the ground in China?
Sorry, I'm on the ground over there in China.
Yeah,
Got lost a little bit. But anyway, we thought that was perfect retribution for the bullshit he did. Yeah. For God's sakes, this guy literally threatened a Swedish citizen in Sweden.
Yeah.
A journalist.
Yeah, from within Sweden. Yeah.
From within Sweden.
Yeah. Anyway.
Get out of here.
Guys, Gwen, exactly. We came across another funny thing. Remember we did that Buddha bracelet, the Obsidian bracelet thing a while ago?
Well, just in case you guys didn't see it, there was these ads that kept popping up for us. And we sometimes get targeted for Chinese garbage ads, so crap they're trying to sell. And there's this one called the Black Obsidian bracelet. And it was this crap bracelet you could buy on AliExpress for $1.
Yeah.
And they were trying to sell it for $20, and they came up with these wild, outlandish stories about how they brought people luck and how there used to be a garbage man, and now
they hired a bunch of white monkeys to tell these fake
stories.
It was
white monkey jobs. Yeah. So we got this other one that kept popping up for this hair treatment.
Yeah, so we thought this looked kind of similar, so we're going to play through a little bit.
We're going to play the ad first. So by the way, you're not getting an ad right now. Just letting you know, this is us playing an ad for you.
Yes, an ad that
completely
we
unrelated.
recorded that was constantly popping up on our videos. So let's take a look here. We're going to leave ourselves in here so you can tell that this is not an ad. And
that's actually a good idea.
Yeah, okay, let's go.
even after 10 years of thinning hair. Solved with Simfort carbonated foam. I'm Tom, 35 and single. I'd been suffering from thin hair for 10 years. My life with thinning hair started 10 years ago, in the summer when I was 25. At the time, I was having fun surfing with my pals. While we were surfing one day at the beach like always, the girls around were kind of laughing at me when they saw me. I had no idea why they were laughing. But later, a friend told me that my lack of hair was really obvious. Well, after that I quit
You get the
surfing,
idea.
which I love. I tried different ways to revive my hair, like hair restorers, therapies, scalp massages, but none of it worked well. And on top of that, the cost of all this hair growth stuff was costing a fortune.
I got to stop it right here. By the way, they're just using stock photos.
I know. I love that none of them match. Like he's
Yeah.
a different person multiple times.
Yeah, it's just stock photos, and I love the fact that they're like, oh, the girls were laughing at me, and my friend said, oh, your lack of hair is very noticeable.
Yeah, that's how he. That's
And
how
then
he
he gave
figured it
up.
out.
He gave up surfing
He's like,
after that.
F surfing. I'm not going to go out there in those waves where
No.
people can't see me very clearly.
I think bald surfers can be cool too.
that's totally
If you're a
fine.
surfer, you're just cool by default.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Anyway,
Yeah.
let's continue.
I was about to give up on hair growth. I was upset that I'd have to live without much hair for the rest of my life. But then, a friend with the same problem said something shocking. And that was the first step in changing my life of thin hair.
Wait, that was the first step of changing my life with thin hair.
Of thin hair.
My life of thin hair.
My life of thin hair.
Okay.
Imagine a book named that.
Yeah, my life of thin hair.
He's very different now.
Yeah, it's very
He's
different.
changed.
That was this. Isn't it down to the shampoo you're using every day? Or it works.
Did you see how they slowed down their footage or whatever? It's
So it
just
could
like-
match it
yeah,
slightly.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, keep going.
But isn't it a bit expensive? Despite the regular high-end price of $39, it's so popular that it's always sold out on the official website. That's how many people are experiencing real results. But now, a limited offer price just for you. You can buy Simfort for only $29.80. That's a massive 23%
So wait a
discount.
second. Hold on. So Simfort
Yes.
is already sold out at the high price of $39, right?
Right.
It's all sold out of their official website. So what they decided to do, because supply and demand is so high,
Yeah.
and supply is not good enough,
Yeah.
they're going to drop the price
They're going to drop the price.
because it's selling out at full price.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense.
Absolute.
That's what I would
Great
do.
business sense.
Yes.
But this campaign is only for the first 50 people.
Now that's
Check the link
limited.
below to
Yeah.
see if you still have a chance.
Okay, so first of all,
Yeah.
what I wanted to say is that Winston and I, this kept popping up for us, and we were like, dude, this is some white monkey China shit.
Yeah.
There is absolutely no way this is an American product, because sometimes it was saying it was American.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was saying it was Japanese.
Yeah.
And so what I wanted to see was, can I go get it for that low price of $29?
Yeah.
And I'm not the first 50. I'm not one of the first 50 people, because this is a month later.
Yeah.
So I went there, and yeah, it's still available for $29.
Yeah. A month later, so I guess less than 50 people bought it.
Yeah, according
Yeah.
to their logic.
It's that stupid, like, oh, limited time.
Yeah,
like, get
yeah,
it now
sure.
before it runs out type thing. They try to, like, get people to buy.
So they put this together with they went to depositphotos.com or one of
Yeah,
those stock image websites and just threw this ad together and then hired someone on Fiverr to voice the ad.
Yeah.
But we were convinced that we didn't want to be wrong.
Yes.
We were convinced that if we did enough digging, we'd figure out this is actually just a Chinese product.
Sure.
Because this is reeks of Chinese crap.
Absolutely. Just
So-
like the Obsidian bracelet.
Just like that. So scroll
Yeah.
forward a little bit. All right, just play this out a little bit.
Yeah.
And we did some sleuthing.
Yeah. All right. It's
And so what we found was
Oh.
was this. So we were like, if we look around, we're finding the ads.
Yes.
Right. But what we wanted to do is find out like some other material that they're putting out there, maybe in different countries or whatever. So we found that they have a YouTube channel.
Yes.
With one video.
one video.
This is the video, and this is not meant for people to see.
Probably not meant for people to see. I don't know, but let's take a look.
This is their official channel.
This is their official YouTube channel, so this has got to be like an advert that they're working on.
Right, but it's not done. They obviously uploaded a video for people to check the footage and be like, is this
Maybe.
the footage you want to use?
Yeah, because it's not professionally edited, but basically...
Listen to
yeah,
it.
yeah, you got to listen because you can hear the lens. Lenses on DSLRs and stuff, when they auto focus,
Yeah.
they make like a kind of a clicking sound.
Right, and more importantly, you can hear the people, like it's the internal cam mic. It's
Yeah.
not what they're going to use for
No,
the
no.
advertisement.
But I love, like, for those of you at home who are listening, it's got this guy waking up,
Yeah.
and his pillow is covered with hair.
With
That's
the dog
It's
hair.
looks like dog hair, as if it's come off his head, which it obviously hasn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll get out of the picture. We'll just play this for you.
Just listen to
Just
this.
listen very carefully. Hey, you know what I just realized? Maybe that's a Geiger counter, and he's like in Chernobyl or something, and his
losing his
hair's
hair.
kind of falling out because he's like, at the Dio 1, Bay,
Yeah, yeah.
nuclear power plant or
Yeah.
something. Anyway, let's continue.
Thank you.
Okay.
Alright, gonna watch them.
Yeah.
So obviously this wasn't meant for people to see. That is absolutely hilarious.
It is.
What I think happened is they got a white monkey in China or whatever, or wherever they did it.
Yeah.
And they shot these stock things, and then they were sent it to their boss, or how China, it's Chapadol, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So they'll upload it, and they'll be like, let's let the client see it, and then
Sure.
they can use that footage in the final edit.
Sure.
But so they just uploaded everything with the audio. I've heard things like this on like Yoku and Billy.
Yeah, hang on. We got to. There's a comment here. I want us to show that.
Okay. Owen May says, "Shit, I slept on the
hamster
hamster
again."
again." It's very, very true.
Yeah.
So anyway, we saw that and we were like, now this is we're even more suspicious of this as being a Chinese product now.
Yeah.
So we went and we found them on Amazon that you could actually buy it at a little bit higher price, $4 more than what SimFort was selling. But what we saw was they kept marketing it as a Japanese product.
I mean, it looks like a
And it
Japanese
does.
product. Maybe this is kind of a knockoff of. Maybe they've got a knockoff
Well,
version.
let me tell you how I didn't tell you this, but
Okay.
my father-in-law was using a Japanese shampoo that was good for gray hair or some shit. I can't remember.
Yeah, yeah.
And it wasn't Japanese shampoo. What they did was they were putting Japanese characters on
Yeah,
there.
I've seen that a lot, and I can read
Yeah.
Japanese characters.
Right.
And so when I go to the supermarket in China, you'd get shampoos and dishwashing
Yeah.
liquid or whatever, and they just put random characters.
Random ones.
And I would read it, and I'd be like, this doesn't mean anything.
No.
I mean, this is right, though. I can read that.
Right.
That's a scarupu care. It's a
Right.
scalp care,
Right.
and all the rest of it. But that looks legitimate to me. But, we've got that cool little
Well,
plugin.
so this is what happened.
Yeah.
After all this digging, we are like, we just can't figure this out. This is either the most marketed, like way too expensive garbage that's actually made in Japan, and they just did a really shit job
Yeah.
marketing it with like stock photos and did a Chinese level job.
That's such a Chinese advert, 100%.
Yeah, so we were like, but we're still skeptical. So we ran it through that app we like to use called Cultivate. We're actually probably going to start working with them a little bit. But they tell you on Amazon. Amazon hates them, by the way.
Sure.
They tell you where stuff is made, and lo and behold, bam! It says the seller's from California, but more importantly,
Brand from
the
China.
brand is from China. So it is in fact a Chinese product. It's
Correct.
bullshit. Look at this is why Amazon's so shit.
Yeah.
I hate Amazon so much. If you look for anything now, there's 100 products that are Chinese with random names.
Yeah, like Sun Great.
Right, but it's even when you search for name brand stuff that you want.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's say you want to buy a Bic pen or something. It's going to come up with a billion other Chinese brands of shit,
Sure.
that you don't want.
Yeah.
So what this says is before you run it through the app, it says made in Japan. So you're like, this is
It
is
says
really good
there,
stuff.
made
Yeah.
in Japan.
Nope, you run it through Cultivate and it tells you, it goes through the Amazon's data to actually, Amazon doesn't want you to know this, but actually show you where it's coming from.
Right.
Bam, brand from China. So yeah, we were right. This is garbage and they're lying.
Yeah, I got to get back to that advert with the guy. I feel like we could just make a voiceover and make it better. Maybe let's just do that.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So let's get ourselves out of here. Oh man, there goes my hair again. What am I gonna do? You do the next part.
And check the stocks here.
Thank you.
Oh, hey, this random Asian girl gave me this thing at the door. Let me try it out. Sweet, wow, that feels great. Yeah, real deep follicle cleansing. It's like,
All
yeah.
clean.
Good old pillow. No hair there today. Hell yeah. Look at this hair of mine. Isn't that
yeah.
gorgeous? Freaking great.
That was awful.
Yeah,
We-
okay.
we
We
did a
could,
very
if
bad
we actually
job.
rehearse something,
Yeah, well,
put a little
we
bit of
didn't.
background music.
Of course.
We could, let's hope they don't actually use it.
For sure.
Yeah, so that's pretty much.
And we,
that.
if you guys, let us know if you like these guys, because we. Actually, can we tell them about the Reddit first?
Sure.
Okay, so we open a subreddit called.
Yeah, I'll bring it up.
Just go all the
give
way
me a
to the end
second.
there. It's all the way at the end.
Yeah, I got you. I'll bring it up in a second. There we go.
Okay, yeah. What I want to tell you guys is if you come across stuff like this,
Yeah.
you have a place to post it now, because we like to do this product reviews where we do some sleuthing and find out if it's Chinese or just funny stuff
Just
in general.
funny stuff, yeah.
And we opened up a new section of the show. It's called Hate of the Week, which is actually the title of it's going to be Wu Mao Corner.
Yeah. We got that coming for you this time.
It's coming for you this time, but what we ask people to do is go subscribe to the Reddit subreddit. It's totally free.
Yeah.
Reddit.com/r/ADVChina. And this is for anything. If you have fan art for Laowhy86, SerpentZA, ADVChina,
any of our channels, Worthless Whips, doesn't
All
matter.
of them.
Anything that we do, please feel free to post anything.
You can
on there.
post questions there. You can post material there. You can post memes. You can post anything you want. But we're asking people to post this week. We're asking people to post hate comments so we can make fun of them in the podcast.
Sure.
So anyway, you guys head over there. It's there's barely anyone on there. It's pretty. It's been around for a while. But we never used it.
Yeah.
But it's now starting to get active, and we wanted to actually take advantage of it for the show.
So for anyone who's into Reddit, you know where to go.
For sure. Cool.
All right.
All right. Now let's go back.
Okay,
I do have another thing to say about our stuff.
Oh, you do. Okay. It's just I keep seeing this guy's hair, and it's bugging
It's
me.
worth getting the real.
People always ask me if I got hair plugs or something. I just stopped cutting my hair. That's all, because I just used to shave it
It
myself.
turns out if
Mm-hmm.
you stop cutting your hair, it will grow.
Yeah, but also if I just stop cutting my own hair and I actually go get a hairdresser to cut it, they know how to, like, when you got a little bit of the thinning and stuff, they know how to do the thing. I mean, I actually don't have a big hair problem. It's
No.
just I was cutting it myself.
It's just the shape of your hair. It's not. It's
weird.
It's not balding.
Yeah,
It's just the shape.
and it's
of your hair.
also, I'll be honest with you, since I left China, maybe the diet changed, maybe the atmosphere and stuff. It's
very
helped.
true.
It's helped a lot.
Yeah, I mean, your
But I
hair is
haven't
good.
done anything or taken any products or.
No.
A lot of people say that I have, which is weird, but whatever.
Why don't you go get the real thing here, because we might as well. This is our last chance. So here we go, boys and girls. The Malicious Mao NFT, the real deal,
Yes.
the art piece that Winston created. The Malicious Mao NFT is going to end bidding on
Today,
this
on the show. On
We're
the
going
show.
to do it live.
Yeah.
So what the deal is, if you guys were not with in the other episodes where we made this, Winston made this piece of art to kind of make a joke.
Yeah.
But then we minted. We actually paid a lot of money to have it minted
As an NFT.
As an NFT, and there's only one.
Yeah.
We didn't do this thing. People were like, "You can make a lot of them, make a lot of money." No, we made one.
Yeah. I didn't
would've cost
even
the
know
same.
what an NFT was.
Sure.
And it's something about cryptocurrency and blockchain and whatever.
Basically, what this has been turned into one item of cryptocurrency, right?
Yeah.
On the internet, there will be only one of them. It can be
Yes.
resold. You can
Yeah.
resell it. But the point is, we did it as a joke. We didn't expect a whole lot of interest. But what we thought was, why not profit off of this a little bit and put some of those proceeds towards fighting the actual CCP with
Yeah.
defacing this bullshit Mao
And whoever wins it will get the original as well. We'll mail the real thing to
with
you.
a certificate of authenticity.
Yes,
So you'll not only get the real thing, the real artwork, but you'll also have the only one
NFT.
So what I want to say is that in the description right now is the link.
Mm-hmm.
There are already bids on it right now, but we're going to manually stop the bidding at the end of this episode. So this is the only chance you're going to get, and I will choose the highest bidder.
Yeah,
with my own
it's
hand.
bizarre to me, all of this.
Of course.
But, proceeds will definitely go towards fighting the CCP.
We have an idea for a second NFT in the future,
That's-
which will be a charity one.
Yeah, charity for sure.
Anyway, what we want to say is that this is the only chance you're going to get to do this. So while Winston will do most of the talking in some of these segments, because I'm going to be live watching the bidding. And what I'll do is come to you at the end of the show, right before we end, and we will manually select the winner. Correct?
Okay, excellent. Can we get on with the show
We
now? Okay, so we've got something else here, guys, that we just thought we'd comment on. Okay. So,
I got to set this up.
okay, set it up.
So I've been working on something that might make you guys a little bit excited. I've been working on my next part 2 Electric Boogaloo of the White Monkey
Yeah, that's
video.
funny. It's hilarious.
And in the process, I've been doing a lot of TikTok sleuthing. And I got to tell you something, guys. TikTok is fucked. It is literally chock full of so much propaganda. It's not TikTok's fault. I'm talking about American TikTok, not Chinese TikTok.
Yeah.
It is chock full of so much Chinese propaganda, just like YouTube is, but even worse because of the ease of uploading an entire propaganda channel that's already been made in China onto TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm not joking, within 15 minutes, I was fed 50 propaganda accounts, Chinese propaganda accounts.
Wow.
And there are thousands of them out there, and they just continually bombard you. What they're trying to do is, if there's any dissenting opinion on there, for one dissenting opinion, there's 100 pro-CCP opinions. And it bombards you as an impressionable person.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
look, you have to understand, that's where China can win. They've got the numbers, okay,
Right.
when it comes to swaying opinions. Because if you've got one person telling the truth, but 100 people telling a lie, you're probably going to start thinking that one person is incorrect. And that's how they win. The thing is, they're not very good at it, okay, most of the time, because it's sloppy. But, they're getting more sophisticated, and it is getting to a point now where it's very difficult. The lines are being blurred. But you have to understand that there's a massive amount of coordination, and it's state-backed as well. And
Yes.
if not state-backed, it's encouraged.
Right.
By the state.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So what you're dealing with here is you're dealing with a massive coordinated effort of the Chinese government, Chinese nationalists. They call them Zhegang Wu Mao, the people that do it,
Right.
out of their own. I'll quickly break it down for you. You've got a lot of especially young people in China who are very disenfranchised. Okay. And they are concerned that they are not making an impact, as all young people want. We all want to feel special. We all want to put our mark in the world. We all want to be able to have some self-worth. And they're finding themselves in a situation where the only thing that they can actually put any pride or stock in is the fact that they were born in China, the fact that they are Chinese, their nationality. Because they're not seeing that they're having an impact elsewhere in life. They may be failing at jobs, they're failing at romantic, romance. They're failing at a lot of things. So what they look at is what they have. The one intangible thing that they have, which they didn't earn, by the way. Being born in a country is not an achievement. You know what I mean?
No.
You were born on a piece of dirt in wherever it was, okay? And then you got to deal with it, obviously. But that's their only big achievement they've ever done, which is not something they did themselves.
No.
So latching on to the fact that you are whatever nationality is like the weakest thing anyway.
Sure.
Because, like I said, you didn't earn it.
In any country, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You didn't earn it. But they see that as the only valuable thing in their life, the only thing of value that they represent. So to be nationalistic and to go out and fight for your country and fight for, be patriotic and stuff is really the only thing that they feel worthy doing. And that's why they're very happy to jump up, be very nationalist, go out there and fight this war of propaganda for free.
Can I make a distinction though?
Sure.
You're absolutely correct. This is what you're talking about in the person that's up here, probably.
Yeah.
I am coming across content that is absolutely not people making up their own minds about this.
Yeah, that's why I say that's part of it. It's a big state thing.
It is.
Massively state. People are being paid to do this.
Yeah.
Foreigners are being paid to do this a lot.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
Specifically, but it's...
you wouldn't believe what we've been uncovering.
Yeah. Remember last week we showed you that woman who was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'm British, but it's so much worse here
Sure.
than in China." That kind of thing. Those are people that are being paid.
Yeah.
But not only do you have the state and you have all these paid actors, but you also have people that are very willingly being, a part of this because that's, like I said, it's all they got, really.
Right. So this one, it could be state because this one's quite big, but this guy keeps coming up, right?
Okay.
When I go through my feed. This is not scary. I'm saving the scary stuff for my video, obviously.
Yeah, it's fun.
This is one that this guy keeps popping up is because his arguments are so stupid and so bad. This is one of the worst ones I saw. Wait till you hear his pitch for why it's okay for China to copy other countries.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Let's figure it out. Let's take a look. We'll get out of the picture here and we'll play this.
These people love to copy, and I can tell you the honest answer. Yes, we love to copy because copy from others is the best and fastest way to grow and learn. Imagine if you were 20 years ago, you are Chinese, you're poor and eager to make money. You can take the high risk to make an innovative company, or you can just look at America and there was a company called Amazon. You just copy and implement that in China. And that is the easy and fastest way to succeed. I still remember Steve Jobs said something like, good artists copy and great artists do. So we have no shame on copying from others. This is Philip in China.
Okay, first of all, I want to point one thing out here. He cited Steve Jobs as saying something to legitimize his argument.
This is so common.
Okay, but I'd like to ask you: was Steve Jobs an innovator in any way, shape, or form? Did he just copy? I mean, a lot of people are going to say Apple copied a lot of stuff, but obviously not. He innovated a lot of things, at least
Especially
the
with
way
design.
to present, just the way to present things.
Yes.
This guy's logic, okay, is that we shouldn't innovate, just copy. But then, why would you do that? You could be the next Steve Jobs. What's his name? Steven in China or something? Philip in China, whatever, so random name. Okay, Philip in China. You will never be the next Steve Jobs.
Oh,
Neither
by the way,
will
he knows who we are. He's
Oh,
he's called
good.
us out in his TikToks before.
Good.
So speak to him.
Yeah.
Speak to Philip.
Philip, you will never be the next Steve Jobs because you can't innovate. If you think copying is the best way to do things, you won't be the next Bill Gates. You won't be the next Elon Musk. You won't be the next. Put a big name in there. And sure, everyone could say they copied things themselves, but that's not the case. There's a lot of innovation going on there. You know, innovation is important. Now, once you've copied everything, then what are you going to do? If you don't have innovation to start off with and creativity, you can never, you can copy everything and then you're stuck.
I think there's a lot of good stuff to unpack here. And what we can see, Philip's argument is something that's shared with a lot of Chinese people. It's this idea that if you copy, then it's good enough. Because this is his mentality. Let everyone else do the hard work.
Yeah.
Take the risk, go out there. They have their inventions. They need to get their patents. They need to fight in a capitalist market. Make sure that people are not undercutting them. Get on top of everything, marketing, all this kind of stuff. Let them do everything. Finish it. And then copy it and use it in the domestic market in China. Because what's going to happen when you do that is you're going to be protected.
Yes.
That company can't sue you. They can't come after you. What you can do is even have a worse version of that product. So let's just say, I don't know, Taobao.
Yeah.
Right? It's like a copy of eBay or whatever.
Sure.
You can have a worse version of that product. Or let's just say a bike. There's some really cool bike that somebody invents, and then you make a shit version of it. Nobody's going to come after you. You're going to be able to profit massively under government protection because you're a domestic brand now within China. And then you yourself gets to profit off of that. However, you're also, Philip, in your other videos talking about how China is going to be the future of the world. It's going to be the #1 country in the entire world. They're going to lead the world. Everyone else is just jealous. China is not going to be the leader of the world with that logic, Philip. And I'll tell you why. Unless your military is going to go around and start taking bases and actually aggravatingly assault other countries and take over territory and control them, then China will never, ever be a world power for 2 reasons. Number 1, they're not cool. In your video right here, you're using a cover of a Linkin Park song.
Yeah.
And talking about how it's awesome to copy. And not only that, you're taking your inspiration from a Westerner.
Yeah, from Steve Jobs.
So what you've done is you've dropped yourself a few rungs already, Philip. What you're saying is that China is so far below the rest of the world that all they can do is steal, not improve upon. That's where you're wrong. To steal and then use within your own domestic market, which is protected. Yeah. So that's why China will fail ultimately. And this is what breaks my heart about China is it can't be a world power because it doesn't innovate or make anything that the world wants, and it's not cool. China's not cool. You have to be cool. You have to make cool entertainment, cool products.
You need to be using, your own music.
Yes.
That's the thing about these TikTok propaganda things that I've seen. They all use Western music.
Correct.
It's like, they'll be like, oh, look at how bad America is and stuff, but they're using American music. They'll be using some soppy song, piano music or something that's a Western, song. And let's face it, he's wearing Western design, he's using
Oh, he wears all kinds of,
whatever.
Look at his other
he's
stuff.
using Western technology to
joke.
film this, all that kind of. He's using a Western platform now, TikTok or whatever.
Yeah, he's using a VPN to go on TikTok to talk about how awesome China is at copying.
I mean, like you said, you've already set yourself back a hell of a lot right there. And why are you idolizing Steve Jobs? Surely there's a Chinese equivalent of Steve Jobs. Oh wait, no, there isn't. That's because there's no innovation in China. Jack Ma is not a good example.
We're going to talk about Elon Musk today. We think he's made some errors, but he's by and large a very intelligent man, right? Watch his interview with Jack Ma, and you can see what a real leader looks like versus somebody that's an absolute piece of shit, if I'm totally honest.
Copy man.
I don't hate Jack Ma, but his theories are so shitty on every aspect of life.
Sure.
He's basically very similar to what Philip is saying here.
Yeah.
You can't base your nation's ideology on copying and making something worse and then protecting yourself from competition. That's not how the world operates.
Yeah, and I mean, we're leading into our main topic, of course, which is the whole Tesla thing. But before we continue, we should take some super chats.
Sure.
So let's do that, shall we?
We actually have one more segment.
Oh, do we?
Yeah.
Oh, whoops! That's not it. Excuse me, I pressed the wrong button today.
This is just one thing we wanted to comment on. It was in the same vein. It was another.
Oh yeah. This is something that we wanted to talk about very quickly.
So this has been going on around TikTok as well. The bragging of how the Chinese people on here, these nationalists, they're going on there and bragging about how they can use facial recognition technology to have a convenient life.
Now, this is
Tapping your
obviously, they roll these things out in trial phases. So this is a trial phase. This is not widespread around China right now. It's not something that can, you walk into any city and you'll get that. But let's just take a look at this quickly.
To take subway is good enough. Here's something crazier. You can get on a bus by just scanning your face. The only thing you need to make sure is that you've got enough credit of your own.
Okay, so what we're seeing there is it's a rollout phase of using your face as a way to pay for things.
Why are you bragging about this? Nobody wants this in other countries.
We looked at this and we found a couple of flaws.
Yes.
Number one, it's way quicker to use
A card.
You get things like in Shenzhen, it's called the Shenzhen Tong or whatever.
Here.
Yeah, basically it's just a card like the octopus
With a
card
chip
or
in it,
the what do they call it, the Oyster card in the UK, where you can just tap and then it immediately deducts and you recharge that card. It's not actually linked to your credit card or anything like that. You just put whatever. But now, if they can use your face for payments, how easy is it going to be for a scammer to put a camera in a shop or a camera on the street or anything that just randomly scans people's faces and deducts money from their account?
Now, before people go tinfoil on this, let me tell you something that already exists in China that's actually a huge problem. In China, you have Easy Pass, just like you have here. It's not called Easy Pass, but it goes in your windshield and it beeps when you go through the tolls.
Yes.
So you don't have to pull over and get your card for the toll gate.
Yeah.
Now, what people do is when you pull over to these what's it called, rest stops, people think there's no crime in China. These rest stops are so famous for, they have key fob spoofers.
Yep.
They'll actually wait until you're going to the bathroom and steal your car.
Yeah, that happens.
That happens. Number two, the more common thing that happens is they make these machines that you can actually buy on the internet. And you can walk up this people's Easy Pass thing and drain them of all their money.
Yeah,
You can literally just go beep, beep, beep. It happens all the time. It's very, very common. Even
There are
today.
videos you can find online about that.
Yeah. And it's very, very common. So if this technology and market already exists, imagine when you can start just putting up cheap cameras for people's faces.
There was a big thing in Shenzhen because in the shops you can pay with WeChat.
Right.
Okay, so that's everyone's like, oh, it's cashless. Ooh, it's amazing. I'll tell you one thing though. That like credit cards and stuff, that's cashless too.
Yeah, I don't
And
understand.
that's been around since like the 70s or something.
I don't understand this whole fascination with using WeChat to pay. Because I can walk around with my credit card. I almost
just
showed you my credit card.
Yeah, and
I
just
can tap it on anything, the gas station. I can even just have it in my wallet and do that.
Yeah, look, WeChat and everything's very innovative, and it's a very different thing. But the whole thing about like, wow, China's cashless, to me has always been a weird thing to say because most of the Western world has been cashless for decades.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And we have also Apple Pay and
all that
Android
nonsense.
Pay and
whatever. Yeah. Anyway, the thing is with WeChat, you scan a QR code and then you pay for your items, right? And what was happening in the shops around Shenzhen is like scammers would walk into a shop because a lot of the times the shop will have their QR code on the counter, they print it out, or on the wall. And then they say it'll be 50 kwai, you type the amount in on your phone and scan their QR code and then send to them. That's how it works.
Correct.
So scammers would have stickers and they just put their sticker over the shop sticker while no one was looking. So then people would walk in, scan the so-called shop's QR code, and they're smart about it because it'll come up and tell you the name of the shop. They just set it up that it's got the same shop name and everything. So you think it's the correct one. Scan it, put in the money, send it. What you're doing is sending it to the scammer. You know what I mean? So they've got these very like special, clever scams going on. So I'm sure that they could have that camera thing in a shop.
Yeah.
But then somebody just comes in and spoofs the camera or does something like that or puts a fake camera somewhere.
Right.
And you end up losing your money that way. So it doesn't seem like a very good idea.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Anyway,
we just thought you'd enjoy that.
Yeah, so let's do some super chats before we continue on to our main segment here.
And
we've got that new segment for you later, the Wumao Corner.
Yes. Bork says, have some Swedish krona. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Kiwi here with the Taiwanese partner of 11 years. Found it hard to connect with her father on a personal level. Years ago, we visited, and one night, one night I burped. One night I saw him watching an ADV video.
That's awesome.
An old Taiwanese guy watching an ADV.
That's awesome, man.
I said I watched them, and he was happy I had an interest in the culture. That's really
awesome.
cool, actually.
Yeah, thank you.
Really neat. Winston D says, Winston, what do you think about the Chin woman?
What do I think about her? The same thing I always think about her, you know? It doesn't look attractive.
He doesn't think
yeah,
about it.
I haven't thought about her at all until you brought that up. Thank you very much.
Matthew Phillips, ADVMedia, a reporter for Rebel News, interviewed Aussies about their confidence in the vaccine. A Chinese couple said that they would take it in China, but not in Australia because Rona was made in America. Thoughts? Yes, and this is something we laughed at. The whole Rona comes from America theory that the Chinese government push. There's a resurgence of that now.
Of course.
I found it all over TikTok that it came from these bases and all this stuff, all these Wu Maos and stuff on there promoting that it's an American virus.
They're still
now.
pushing this whole idea that it didn't come from China. And the fact that it's working is the most ridiculous thing in the world. And it just shows you how brainwashed or how easy it is to change the narrative of China. All you need to do is pump this stuff out religiously on the state media, keep putting this stuff out to everyone, and people start to believe it and they eat it up. It's ridiculous. How is it not from Wuhan, you know?
I mean, but they don't get a differing opinion.
They can't get a differing opinion.
So,
yeah, it started there. It spread from there. But all of a sudden, no, it's not from here. Yeah, it's not our fault. It's the bad foreigners. Opium War 2.0, you know? That's all it is. That's the way they justify, you know, these stupid lies all the time. It's like, foreigners are bad, you know? They just want to put us down. They're blaming us for this pandemic. But guess what? It's their fault, actually. Such a nonsense. Anyway.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What do we got next?
Next we have Little Man. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. We have Coney Tseng. Great show as always. I'm a Taiwanese immigrant and my wife is also from China. There's a great Xinjiang restaurant in Cerritos called Omar's Restaurant with Da Panji being the best dish. Asked for Zhongkou Wei, which we love.
Yeah, Zhongkou Wei is obviously, you know, like
strong.
Yeah, it's
strong
like
taste.
rich. You can say rich.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, this is very rich. Zhongkou Wei. Yeah, Da Panji, for those of you who don't know, means big plate of chicken. And it's a very good
noodle
Xinjiang dish. Yeah,
it's really good.
Awesome.
Big
It's one of the
noodles.
best. Yeah.
I love it.
Cool.
Last one. We'll do one more. But again, keep sending your super chats if you want to. We're not stopping them. We're just going to
we will
do our
read
next
more.
segment.
Yeah.
PB says no hint of
Read 'em
any, no hint of any chin tats. Tisk, tisk. Very disappointing.
I was thinking about it, you know, put in the Sharpie, but then I'd have to walk around because that stuff doesn't come off easy.
We should probably do a Winston chin tat NFT at some point.
Oh, we could just do like merch.
We can do merch.
Yeah, it'll be funny. I think we can come up with something cool.
How do you hope to defeat the CCP without chin tats or Obsidian bracelets?
Who knows? We'll figure it out somehow. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. So,
cool.
We're now going to move on to our main segment, of course, which is Soft Power Hour, where we talk about all the ways China's trying to change your mind or influence you through media and various other sources. And we've got to talk about Tesla. Now, this is very interesting. I've got a friend who has a lot of stock in Tesla, right? He likes to mess around with that. And as soon as the Shanghai Auto Show thing happened, he was sending this to me.
Okay.
And he lives in China. Now, for those of you who don't know what happened, a woman jumped on top of a Tesla for the Shanghai Auto Show because Tesla was making a big announcement there and stuff. And she wore a T-shirt saying that Tesla's brakes don't work, it's an invisible killer. And, you know, the fact of the matter is that she had an accident in a Tesla. They looked at the data recording from the Tesla, and she was speeding when she had the accident, okay? And everything functioned correctly because it has a pretty robust data logger, all right? And they offered to give her compensation, but they needed a third party to check out the, you know, do the investigation, which she refused. She just wants money for free. Now, this has happened quite a lot in China in the past. It's because there's still quite a lot of ignorance surrounding cars. Cars are still a new thing. You have to understand, in China, it's only our generation that had cars, you know?
Right.
Previous generations didn't, you know? In the 80s and the 90s, nobody had a car.
No.
Except if you're like an official or something like
Sure,
that. So you
even
don't
then.
have the situation that most of us grew up driving in the back of, like riding in the back of our parents' cars. Our grandparents drove. They teach you all the knowledge you need to know about how to handle a car, how to drive, how to deal with emergency situations. You grow up with this knowledge. And Chinese people did not grow up with this knowledge. So they get a car and they think it's this magical device that just does everything for you. And there's another story where a guy, because this was a big thing as well, He's driving on a long road trip with his family. He bought a Nissan Maxima, whatever it was, okay? And he starts hearing a noise from the back tire. Obviously, he's had a blowout, right? It's like that kind of noise. So he phones the dealership, and he's like, there's a noise. So they're like, well, get your car towed. You know, obviously there's something wrong. We can't tell you what it is over the phone. But he keeps saying, like, no, I can't do that. It's too expensive, all that. So the guy on the phone, this is kind of his fault. Actually, it is his fault. He's like, well, then just drive like really slowly until you can get to one of our dealerships, and then we'll fix it for you. Obviously, it was a blowout or whatever. So he continues driving, and he obviously didn't drive slowly because he ends up flipping the car. Okay? Because when you don't have a rear wheel, you know how it goes. So the car flips over, and, you know. So this guy loads this trashed car onto the back of like a flatbed, and he goes outside the Nissan dealerships everywhere, and he's protesting about how, you know, bad quality cars, and they owe him money because, you know, their car did. And at the end of the day, it's common sense. Don't drive with a flat tire. But because that common sense hasn't been passed down, they want to blame the manufacturer for that. Okay, they want to put that blame on. And that's what happened with this woman. She's speeding. She has an accident. But it can't be her fault, right? It must be this magical car that has problems with its brakes.
Right.
So she jumps up and down, causes a big scene, and of course it goes viral around China. And it's been kind of like the match in the powder keg, right? This has started a massive anti-Tesla movement, which is what China wants.
Right.
Okay. This is what the Chinese government wants, because China domestically has tons of EV companies right now. Okay, they've had for the longest time, starting with BYD, and now they've got tons of brands. Like, there's so many. Huawei's even coming out with an EV, all right? You know, I'm serious. So all of these EV brands, they obviously are losing to Tesla because Tesla has such a good reputation in China. It's always been a strong selling brand in China, you know, since it came out. You see tons of Teslas. There are Tesla dealerships all over. There used to be one just below my house when I was living in Shenzhen. And people love Teslas in China. And it's seen as like a luxury car and all that other nonsense. And these EVs the Chinese-made EVs cannot break into that market. Okay, sure, they do sell to the people who can't afford Tesla, basically. Right?
Correct.
But people will still buy Tesla. In fact, the Chinese name for Tesla is kind of interesting. It's TESLA.
Yeah.
And TESLA means specialty.
Yeah.
And then La is kind of like you just add that to something. So it's kind of like my car is a specialty. It's kind of, that's a very good transliteration.
It's definitely a good one.
Yeah. Anyway, so now the Chinese government has stepped in and also condemned Tesla for endangering endangering Chinese people.
They didn't step in when BYD was catching on fire and entombing
exploding.
people into fireballs, whole families of babies melting to death.
I mean, I remember in Shenzhen when the taxi was hit and it blew up and all the people inside died, and
there's so many EV deaths in China.
It's crazy, but they don't condemn that. But suddenly Tesla is putting the Chinese people in danger, and so of course this is what China's wanted. They just need that little reason to say, screw Tesla, we're gonna ban it, or we're gonna force recalls. We want to make Tesla look bad so that Chinese people buy domestic products.
Right.
Because that nationalism plays a role once again. And it's like, we should buy our Chinese products. Our Chinese products are better than those evil Western products that are here to kill us Chinese. And that's literally what's going on in the thought process here. So we've started to see some evidence of videos surfacing.
Well, what I want to say real quick is that we've called a lot of things.
We
called COVID. We called a lot of things. We called the shill's they're gonna end up in Xinjiang.
Yeah,
they are currently in Xinjiang.
Mm-hmm.
This is not to toot our own horn, but what we were gonna say to Elon Musk was, hey, if you go to China you're trying to manufacture in China, your stuff's gonna get stolen.
Yeah.
We did a little research. A lot of people reached out to us, and we found out that it doesn't really matter. Like, he doesn't really care.
No.
His idea is that, hey, electric vehicles around the world will spread because of me. Mm-hmm. Even if I don't directly profit from it, that's an altruistic thing for me to do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's, if you believe in electric vehicles, that is fairly altruistic motive. That being said, what we did say would happen is, not only will they steal your technology, so let's just say Elon Musk actually doesn't care about that.
Yeah.
He's going to give them the
patent, whatever. You go with it, yeah.
But what's going to happen on top of that is that they're going to take your patent, say that they made it, kind of like the maglev train.
Sure.
And then they're going to demonize Tesla and kick you out of the market.
Yeah.
And people are like, no, think about it. If it's really interesting, because if he goes in there and says, I don't care if you copy, then Tesla will still be on top because they'll still be the best. You don't understand China.
No.
You got to understand China. They will take, and again, this is not the Chinese people, but the Chinese government will incentivize companies to take your IP and kick you the F out of the country.
What did Philip said?
What did Philip say?
He said, yeah, we copy and steal.
What happened with Saline?
Yeah, same thing.
Here we are.
They copied and steal.
So not to say we called it, but I think you guys might get a little schadenfreude from these clips we're about to show you of what's currently happening and rolling out in Guangdong province.
Yeah.
Where we live.
We've double-checked these clips. They're recent. They all are from Guangzhou and around Guangzhou.
Guangdong,
in the Guangdong area. You can see the plate there. It says Yue A. That's for Guangzhou.
Yeah.
And those are the special EV plates you get. You get these special green license plates if you've got an EV. So what we're going to do is just show you some of these clips and explain to you what's going on in them. So let's take a look.
对啊，搞到哪里前面都全部都塞车。
Okay, so in that first clip, you can see the traffic police are pulling over Teslas only. Okay, so they're basically just they're looking at all the traffic go through. They've got the traffic cones. If you're in a Tesla, they're pulling you over. Let's look at this next clip.
特斯拉都停在这里，其他车不可以走，其他车不可以走，特斯拉不能走。
Okay, in the second clip, you can hear the guy talking, and he says Tesla 都是在这里. So it's like the police are directing all of the Teslas to go into this lane. Now, what they're doing with these, Teslas in that lane, I don't know. Maybe doing some kind of mandatory check to say, oh yeah, these things are defective. We're gonna have to check, or they maybe I don't know if they're getting them towed. I don't know what they're doing, but they're singling out Tesla specifically, the traffic police. Let's look at the next one.
哎呀，又抓到一个啊！特斯拉。
Oh no, they've grabbed another Tesla. So
Yeah.
there's two of them
It's
there.
a very Cantonese Guangdong accent on
Well,
that
I mean,
guy.
they're in Guangdong.
Yeah, they're in
so-
Guangdong. But yeah, you can see it's like, oh, yeah, Tesla, 又抓到一个了. Zhua, we talked about that in our ADV. This means grab.
Yes.
So it's like they've grabbed another Tesla.
Yep.
Let's see this.
Nabbed.
Yeah. They've nabbed another Tesla. Just give me a second here. I think we've got... yeah, okay. Hang on. Yeah, we got another one for you. And you can see this is the onboard video on a Tesla. He wants to go down the road here. Traffic cop stands out in front of him. And
Reminds
directs
me
him,
of us on motorcycles.
Yeah, directs him to go down there where the other cops are waiting to do whatever they're going to do. So, this
It's
footage,
very recent, and we're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out now. A lot of things are first rolled out in Guangdong.
Yes.
A lot of tests for new things that they're going to do. So this could just be like the beginning of something big, where they're going to like force all Teslas to be recalled or checked, or
You got to pay a license for it until you get
whatever.
it fixed.
They're definitely singling out Teslas here, and that's to put pressure and to damage the brand. That's what they've been trying to do for a long time. Tesla has had to undergo more recalls in China than they have internationally.
Which is just rich as hell.
Yeah, I know. Especially since Chinese brands are so worse.
It's not
so
even
worse. Like
comparable.
any. I'm not even talking about EVs, just the cars. I had a Chinese car, trust me, okay? I bought a brand new Chinese car. It's biggest piece of junk ever.
We have extensive experience with Chinese motorcycles and cars. We've driven them all.
Yeah. So, at the end of the day, this is just China's way of doing its protectionism thing. They're definitely going to give Tesla... It's that fake carrot and real stick scenario.
Correct.
Where they're like, oh, you want a piece of the market? Come on in, bring in your factories. Let's start. Okay, we're going to steal all that. And if you try to even mention that we're doing something wrong, we're going to whack you with a stick. We're going to rile up the nationalists. We're going to say your thing's bad. We're going to kick you out. And then we're going to just sell the stuff we copied from you.
And again, not to say, I understand that Tesla's technology is open source.
Yeah.
The thing is, your brand isn't, and the whole point of wanting to why would you want to get into the Chinese market? If it's open source, they can already have that technology to actually innovate upon it.
Yeah.
That's fine. But what you're trying to do, what Elon Musk is trying to do with Tesla, is trying to break into the Chinese market, take advantage of their manufacturing ability.
Yeah.
And maybe this huge vacuum that's happening with Chinese manufacturing right now, because people are moving elsewhere. Take advantage of that with incentives from the Chinese government, clear incentives, and then get forced out. And that's what we're seeing the beginnings of that happening right now.
Yeah, and then what they're going to do is they're going to basically sell
Neo
or these other brands.
Right.
They'll end up selling those to other countries. And so they're now, Tesla, you've screwed yourself over in other countries too. Because
Yes.
they're going to sell a cheaper version of your car because they didn't have to pay for R&D or any of this. They probably take over your factory when they kick you out and just use that too. So,
I mean, what you could have done is moved manufacturing to a place like India, taken advantage of the resources there and had a fairly democratic country under your belt, and then also use that to prop up the local economies there.
Yeah.
Be altruistic about it and maybe further innovation within India. But instead, you went to a captive market with an authoritarian dictatorship that will cut your head off as soon as they're done with you.
Yeah, and who are, doing a lot of human rights atrocities as well.
Not even to mention that, like, holy crap, that's a whole nother sphere of immorality.
Come on, Butty, wake up over there. You fucking dumb cop. Anyway.
What does that mean?
It just means you stupid head.
You stupid head?
Yeah, dumb cop.
Okay. That's Afrikaans, by the way, because both of these guys, him and Elon, go way back.
Totally, because we're from the same country.
That means
suddenly,
you're the same person.
we're exactly the same person.
That's Chinese. That's Chinese.
You
logic.
know how that works. Yeah. Anyway, let's get some super chats before we move into our new segment, which we can't wait. It's called Wumao Corner.
I have to say, we've never had this many concurrent viewers before, so congratulations.
Wonderful. That's fantastic.
To us and you. Case closed. Interesting thoughts. We hate the swastika flag, but I see the CCP 5-star flag everywhere. In my opinion, the 5 stars don't represent Chinese people and should be seen the same as the swastika flag.
Dude, not only that, just the hammer and sickle. I mean, if you think about it, the hammer and sickle
represents murder.
Yeah, it's really communism is responsible for way more deaths than the Nazis ever.
Sure.
Ever. But yet, you got college kids walking around with that crap, and wearing Che Guevara.
I mean,
whatever.
would you wear? To me, it's very similar.
Yeah,
both are
same
horrific, atrocious forms of government.
Absolutely.
But yet here we are today, celebrating that. Lee Aldis says, CCP propaganda and fighting the Japanese. Have you seen A Touch of Green, Iba Qing? A Taiwanese series covering 1945 to 1949 and beyond. Much more honest. I have not.
Sure. I mean, look, if you watch my recent video that I put out, which is it's called "Why Are Chinese Schoolgirls Doing This?" and they're all dressing up in the. No, it's true though. They're all dressing up in the Mao era stuff. It's a good watch because that explains some of that to you.
I would like to throw out some stats.
Yeah, please.
Actually, I can pull them up here.
Yeah.
You ready for this?
Sure.
So on that, what I wanted to say is that, just give me a sec, entertain everybody.
Yeah. Okay. Hey guys. Stats. Ooh. Look, I could have a chin tattoo too, but I'm not going to put this Sharpie on myself. Yep,
okay, you ready?
It's not going to happen. All right, let's go.
So if you go to China, what you're going to see is drama after drama. Every other TV show about how the Chinese government, the CCP, led the PLA, the People's Liberation Army, to defeat Japan.
Yeah.
No mention of America, bombing Japan, stopping the war, or the American, partnerships of helping the Chinese soldiers on the ground, and also very little mention of the actual Chinese soldiers who fought the real war, which was
the nationalists,
the ROC, the Republic of China. So what happened was, very quickly, is that the Communist Party of China under Mao saw a huge power vacuum. Hey, the Japanese are here. Actually, Chairman Mao thanked the Japanese army.
Well, the leader. Yeah.
The leader, for saying, thank you for offering me such a power vacuum. Because what you did was, it was a bloodbath. They were killing Republic of China soldiers left and right. So the communists were basically sitting and biding their time.
Set up in the mountains.
Waiting for them to get massacred so that they could take over.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So let me have some stats for you here.
Yeah. I did mention these in my video, but it's
sure. But we're on live right now.
Yeah.
So what you guys need to understand is that the way that it's portrayed in Chinese education is that the CCP single-handedly won the war.
Now, I got people saying, "Oh yeah, but what about they made a movie? What's that called? The Eight, whatever it is, and that shows the nationalists fighting the Japanese." Yes,
we didn't say that.
But you know what? They censored the ROC. They censored the flag of the nationalists because they
throw people off.
They have the flag, which is the Taiwan flag still. And that was censored in the movie just because they don't want any, credit attributed to the people who actually did the fighting.
Right. The people that actually did the fighting were the Chinese people in the Republic of China.
Yeah.
So, you ready for this? Of the 23 major battles, so this is against the war against Japan, by the way.
Yeah.
of the 23 major battles where both sides employed at least a regiment, in how many was the CCP the main force opposing the Japanese?
0.
The answer is 0.
0.
So when you see all these movies or even go to school in China, out of every major battle, the CCP, the PLA, was not the main belligerent.
No, never.
Of the 23...
Dude, like, I just got to say, when I was teaching kindergarten, okay, they would have, like, dress up these events, like for Parents' Day and stuff, where the kids would dress up as the PLA and they'd murder the Japanese
soldiers,
with, like, fake toy guns and stuff. Yeah. And I thought this was disgusting. I mean, we don't have a school play where we're murdering Nazis. You know,
no, I mean,
we don't have a school play when like 5-year-olds are murdering people on stage. We don't have that.
We actually have footage of that.
Yeah, we got footage of
China.
Yeah, it's crazy. And when I went to the big Tencent, Tencent, they QQ and WeChat and all that. I went to their big year-end when I used to work for them. Their huge year-end show. They have this massive thing. They got like superstars in there to like sing, like rock stars and things. And one of the big events that they had was a bunch of the Tencent employees all dressing up as like, PLA killing Japanese soldiers on the stage. And I'm like, why is this a thing? Why does this have to be a thing here?
It's fantasy.
It's fantasy.
But it's also sick.
Yeah, it is sick. I mean, like, we don't have to obsess so much over the war. I understand that there were terrible things done, but I also understand that what you're portraying here, the PLA killing all the Japanese, didn't actually happen.
It didn't. It's fantasy. It's not true.
That's the thing. If you had nationalists on the stage there with all the backing that they had from the allies and stuff like that, then it would be, true, but still in very bad taste.
The thing and I don't want to have an argument with people that want to believe in the historical fantasy that the CCP has created, but if you want to look factually into the war, if you're celebrating the PLA's victory over this, your army was the lazy pieces of shit. Okay, that didn't do anything and were biding their time so that they could go and terrorize the peasants and local people and maintain power. I mean, let me tell you how messed up this was. Like, Chairman Mao actually went and killed other communists because it wasn't his communists. Like, it wasn't his brand of that. He would go and wait until everything was raped and pillaged, basically, and then go take over that territory. Sure. Now, were there heroic soldiers that fought on the side of the communists? Absolutely,
of course they
But
were.
by and large, if we're looking at this statistically, it gets worse. Of the 23 major battles where both sides employed at least a regiment, we're talking about Republic of China and the Communist Party, the People's Liberation Army.
Well, the Japanese.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is how many was the CCP a minor participant? So just in the background.
Just one.
Right? Just one.
Yeah.
So 1,000 to 1,500 CCP troops, that was a security detachment on one of the flanks.
You can read, there's actually leaked documents that Mao Zedong actually told his people that, if they are going to work with the nationalists, they have to like delay as much as possible. Don't actually do anything. Let them
hinder them.
Yeah, hinder them rather than help, really.
Right. Of the 1,117 significant engagements with the Japanese, how many were fought by the CCP?
One. Yeah.
Of the 40,000 odd skirmishes that were going down, how many were fought by the CCP?
200
out of 40,000.
Yeah, 200 out of 40,000. Look, they're lazy. They sat in the hills. They mopped up afterwards and then claimed a victory. And these are the people that are running China to this day.
That's what pisses me off is that you had the Republic of China. I mean, they were a fascist regime, but they had elements of democracy that morphed into one of the freest countries in the world, Taiwan today.
Yeah.
So what you have is Chinese people that ran to Taiwan to set up a society and morphed into what the CCP's nightmare is, and that is a free China.
Yeah.
That is a China that is a completely free and transparent
most of
country.
Its culture,
history, language, tradition, religions, all this stuff, and commands respect around the world in terms of how the Taiwanese people are portrayed. Yes. They're portrayed as polite, elegant, nice, very good people, right? World players.
Sure.
Meanwhile, China was left with basically the dregs of leadership, the people that were so basically corrupt and evil to allow their own people to be put through a meat grinder with the Japanese, and then claim victory over it, and then just they're the same type of people that are the corrupt officials that climb the ladder through bribery and evil, just nefarious methods.
Right.
So you can see both sides. You can see how they act too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at how Taiwan acts on the international stage. It's a friend. It's a friendly country with friendly people. Look at how China acts on the international stage.
Wolf warrior.
Yeah.
Wolf wanker.
You can see
warrior.
it. It's just so history is. It's such recent history that it still pertains to today.
Yeah, it does.
You know.
Anyway, we are sidetracked, and let's get another super chat.
Sure. Well, sidetrack's fine. I mean,
absolutely.
people are learning
That's what
things.
it's all about.
Camaro85, hey, Winston, after the stream, don't forget to wash your hair with beach monkey shampoo. Clean your private parts with toothpaste.
Yeah, exactly. Now, that's a story. If you haven't seen that one, it's when I worked for the Chinese celebrity rapist. Oh, boy. Yeah, the beach monkey rape ape.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to do something with that. We're working on
We're
something.
probably going to work. Actually, well, let's just throw that out there.
Sure.
Go to the subreddit and post if you're an artist.
Yeah.
We're going to probably take some auditions for artwork surrounding the
beach monkey rape ape.
It's the rape ape and the beach monkeys as like an album art.
Like a band. Yeah. Rape ape and the beach monkeys.
Yeah.
And we're probably going to do something where we raise charity for women in need.
Yes, that's not probably. It's absolutely what we'll do with it.
Yeah.
Our goal is to piss everyone off with such an insensitive name.
Yeah.
But then use that money to help battered women.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how art works.
Yeah. Apparently
one more. Jordan Harris, what's going on with the Wu Mao at the minute? Geez, hyper attack mode. Maybe that's why I have so many viewers.
Yeah,
might have
maybe
the
it's
Wu
the
Maos
Wu Mao.
jumping in.
Yeah.
It's always fun to see what triggers them, because like it might actually be about this historical fantasy shit.
Yeah.
They
maybe.
really hate that stuff.
Yeah, they do.
You know,
Cool.
Anyway, go.
Now we're going to hit our new segment, everyone, which is the Wu Mao Corner, where we talk about
Get hype.
basically hate of the week. So yeah.
Young Laji.
Absolutely. So basically what we're going to do is if there's anything that stands out as ridiculous hate, we're going to put it up here because, guys, you learn a lot about the attitudes of Chinese society and at least that segment of Chinese society if you look at the kind of things they throw at us all the time. So what do we got?
Well, can I say something real quick? This is, we put it up on the subreddit, and a lot of people are coming in there, and we're going to use those for the next episode. So from now on, anything that goes in Wu Mao Corners is your selection. It's what you find on our channels.
Yes.
We just got this one going from last week that we're using.
Yeah.
So we wanted to highlight a couple of them today.
Great. So what do we got?
Would you like me to read the first one?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, this is, you are banned forever to enter China. This is directed at both of us, by the way.
Yeah.
Anyway, you gain more money by telling lies bashing China. Some lose, some gains. All I wonder is, do you have good sleep at night? How you explain everything to your daughter years later?
I got great sleep. Super good sleep. Because I'm not in a country where I can get a knock on the door where someone's going to come and try to arrest me for having an opinion on the internet.
There you go. Well
you know
said.
what I mean?
Also, how are you going to... I hate when they have to bring family into
They
this.
love to bring our wives and daughters into this stuff all the time.
It's gross.
Guys, that's cowardice. You know,
Yeah,
at the end of
it's
the day...
really lame. You're going to make yourself
my
look
daughter
real
is
bad.
like a toddler. She's like less than 2 years old. She can't even speak, and yet you try to drag her into all this all the time. My wife is her own person. She's independent. She's got nothing to do with me other than the fact that she married me and lives with me and is part of my family. But, you know, her opinions and her outlooks in life do not reflect mine.
No.
So what I say is me.
That's correct.
You know?
I was going to comment, but I'm not going to. Just wanted to show. This was not a funny one. It's just to show you what kind of tactics I like to use. Next one. There's a couple
let's see
today.
what we got next. Okay. It's coming. It's coming.
It's coming.
It's a little slow.
This is the story of a woman.
There we go.
Walter Black. Again, I wanted to show this one because they like to use Western names.
Right.
So I actually had a...
Yeah.
The tactic is to try to throw people off into thinking that they're not Chinese nationalists.
Yeah.
So they make these accounts, and oftentimes you'll go and see the account was made a few days ago.
Yeah, but you can tell always from the grammar and the way they write. It's
for
very
sure.
easy.
But sometimes I'll see them go, the same accounts will go on pro CCP stuff, and they're like, yes, we Chinese love you.
Yes.
You know, they'll go on to like Barrett or
one of
Nathan
those
Rich
guys,
or whatever, and they'll say, we Chinese love you, but it's the same account that says, I am a European living.
Yeah, it's very strange.
It's hilarious.
I don't suppose this guy did it, but you see a lot where they say like, as a whatever
white Canadian.
As a insert your different nationality here, or they'll put their thing. And by the way, I'm not Chinese. I'm this.
Yeah,
it's too obvious, guys.
Yes,
nobody would have to actually say what their nationality is. You know. So what does he say?
China does not miss you. Things are demonstrably better in China than 8 years ago. I don't know where 8 years this comparison.
Dude, I've been out of China for about 2.5 years. Not even 2.5 years now.
I guess not.
No. End of 2019. It's not. Dude, it's like 2 and a little bit years.
Right.
So I don't know what this 8 years nonsense is all about.
Corruption, pollution, economy, everything tangible the population see and feel is better. You cannot organize against the government. You never could. The Chinese people have stood up and no longer need loser Laowhys in their country. Guests who complain and have nothing to contribute. They define what is valuable. Not you are not welcome. But and again, not to commentate on this, but
It's not such a bad hate. Like I
No.
don't like the way he's going with this.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
What I wanted to comment on is it's just wrong.
Sure.
Because this idea that they need foreign approval still very much exists. You look all over the Chinese internet when I did that expose about,
Sure.
oh, my city, our Chinese city was on American TV. They're still hiring white monkeys to do propaganda work for them. It's still exactly the same. They still need foreign approval for their bullshit authoritarian regime. And this argument is completely wrong. It's demonstrably wrong.
It's something I'm always against. I don't like the fact that they have to rely on foreigners for legitimacy.
Yeah, and this whole like corruption, pollution, economy, and everything is improved. The only thing I can say is maybe basic salaries have improved, and maybe some living standards for some people. The corruption has improved.
Nope.
Are
not-
you? It's just super high level now.
Yeah.
And it hurts people even more.
This idea that suddenly things change in 2.5 years in such a massive way, that society that has been, for however many hundreds of thousands of years or whatever, things are just going to change is nonsense, okay? The insight that we have into China is exactly the same right now, and it's as valid right now as it was 2 years ago, and it's as valid right now as it would be 20 years ago, China changes when it comes to new buildings, new infrastructure,
Right.
things like that. That changes all the time. They can implement new laws and all that, but we're savvy to all of that. You think we don't have our ear on the ground? You think we're not constantly getting new footage, new stuff from people there who are living there, our family, our friends? Things don't change that quickly. And the way that China is reacting and the way that people are, like politicians and stuff are, acting around the world is exactly what we'd expect. Nothing has changed.
No, in fact, it has gotten demonstrably worse.
Yes, it's gone backwards. Anyway, do we have another one?
No.
Okay, just two
so
for
next
this
time, we just want people to throw up the ones that you find. We'll usually choose funny ones.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, like ones that give you proper insight into what's
Yes.
going on.
Post ones that you want us to explain too.
Yeah, that's the whole point. We'll look into it because it's kind of fun to see the little tactics. They have new tactics every single
They
time.
do morph.
Yeah, they try to confuse you or paint you as a criminal or try to play the good guy for a little bit. Or
There's a new thing that people are trying to like. There's Wumaos out there. They're trying to say that you were arrested for being a thief in China.
A thief?
Yeah, like you,
Okay.
and they have proof. They have proof
Oh,
that
okay.
you were caught stealing.
I'd
what
love to
form
see
is
that.
stealing things in China, by the way.
I would love to see that, by the way. I really would.
For
Please,
sure.
please.
I'm just saying
Yeah.
that is a new thing.
What-
I don't know why that's I think because they think that it's like a loss of face
Look,
or
it's
something.
no, it's the whole thing about try to delegitimize the person. So if someone's saying something like, "Hey, there's a fire over there,"
Right.
they're like, "That guy doesn't even know what a fire looks like," or "That guy's a bad man. Don't listen to him."
Yeah.
Something like that. It's nonsense.
Your mom's
All
a
right.
fire.
So it's time for us to do a few more super chats before we do worldview.
Yes. Minimus Max says, would you either of you move back to China tomorrow if it wasn't hostile to foreigners?
I mean, sure.
Yeah,
If
well, absolutely.
under different
Well,
circumstances,
It's
I
not just
wouldn't-
hostile to foreigners. I want to see. I would like to see some real positive change.
Sure, of course. Yeah, I mean, there's a reason I spent 14 years of my life in China. You
Same.
don't just do that if you don't like a place, right?
Yeah, that's some weird sadomasochistic
Yeah, I know,
shit.
seriously.
Eric Bolin, hey, you guys, love the show. Use the info as a source for my audio podcast, Eric's
Cool.
America. It's been awesome getting real firsthand knowledge of CCP and life in China.
Excellent.
That's awesome, Eric.
Yeah.
Good luck with the podcast.
Absolutely.
PB, used Simfort, still bald. Pubes are 3 feet long, though.
Excellent. Excellent, PB.
That's good stuff, PB.
Yeah.
Menatome Ether. Well done, guys. YouTube has given me an ADV mix showing lots of commercials. Hope you're getting recompense for hard work.
Really
not
appreciate that.
Not as much as you might think. But, I do want to throw this out there. The podcast has been getting demonetized recently a lot.
Sure.
Especially right after it goes up. It'll take 2 days to either...
And then it finally does get...
Some of them haven't, though.
Yeah.
But we've been getting nailed recently, and we don't like to whine about demonetization,
No.
but recently it's been happening to all of our channels.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about recently.
almost a month on my channel.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And then ads are still popping up on my latest video now, but it's limited ads. So
Right.
that means that like it's very little money that you can get.
That's
and
right.
it was only after it was completely demonetized. It was actually very strange. I tried to upload the same video 3 times.
Right.
With different levels of censorship, right? So I censored the hell out of it to make sure I wasn't showing anything bad, you know, all that kind of stuff. And then they run these checks every time. Demonetized, demonetized, demonetized. And the third time I uploaded it, I took some of the censorship off because I was like, well, screw it. If I'm going to get censored,
just go
then
for
I
it.
added that like footage of a pole dancer in the front anyway as well because I'm like, well, I'm not getting
Just go
monetized
for it, yeah.
anyway. And it was demonetized, but then later they allowed limited ads on it. So I'm like, what? So I make it worse and then it's okay. But when I try my best, I guess probably my reasoning is I called them out in the beginning. And I was saying, this video has been demonetized, even though it's only showing historical stuff, nothing bad. It's only educational, according to their guidelines. And maybe the reviewer watching that was like, yeah, maybe he's right.
Yeah.
But the previous ones are like, he's talking bad about China or something, let's just demonetize him.
Right.
I don't really know.
No, I mean, all of our channels, every single one of our channels has been dealing with that recently. I don't know
crazy.
what it is. It takes forever to get reviewed, so it's super lame.
Anyway, enough bitching about
I want to
that.
say that the current bidder is an anonymous person there at the top right now for the Malicious Mount NFT.
Oh, fantastic. All right, so we're going to move on to our next segment, which of course is Worldview, everybody. Worldview is where we talk about everything in the world, specifically to do with China usually. So again, it's just
That's right.
it's kind of a redundant category.
No shit.
Well, I'm just saying we could be whatever. It's a category. It's always been there. It will remain there. Okay.
It will.
And what do we got in the background here? We've got some
Since
footage
ancient
of
times.
us in Guizhou, everyone.
Oh, this is some good stuff, but we're not here to talk about that.
No, we're not. But I would like to just put it out there for those of you who haven't been keeping up. We have been doing these things on ADVChina where we go around.
It's gonna be nauseating.
It is nauseating. I can't handle it. I'm going to pause it. It's making me sick looking at it.
Okay.
So we've been doing this thing where we take footage that we've filmed riding through some of the cities and towns and things all around China, north and south, stuff we've never released before. And we go around and we translate the signs and we translate the propaganda and explain what's going on. So if you haven't seen any of those, please go over to ADVChina at some point. The recent one, we showed the whole bullshit situation when you want to put gas in your bike and you have to give your passport and walk around with an open teapot full of gas and all that kind of nonsense. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's kind of fun. It's interesting. We're enjoying doing it because we get to look at some of the stuff, you know, that we did before, and we also get to translate all the propaganda, and it's fun.
Right.
Anyway, the reason we're showing Guizhou in the background is we're talking about poverty, and Guizhou is the poorest province in China.
Yes.
Okay. What did you want to say about poverty?
Well, there's the whole push. I mean, if you guys have not been around, there was the 5-year plan that said China will eliminate poverty by 2020.
I'm just going to click through in the background so that we can
Sure.
see different scenes. I'm not going to play it because the frame rate's off and it's going to make everyone motion
Yeah, actually,
sick.
when I was watching it here, it was fine, but up here it was bad because their computer's chugging.
Still.
But anyway, don't do that. Anyway, there's a thing that they have to do when the Chinese Communist Party goes out there and says we have to beat this, we have to do this in 5 years, then they have to do it or they have to lie about it. Yeah, 5-year plan. So their 5-year plan was we are going to eliminate poverty. And the tankies went wild when Xi Jinping got up there on this podium, you know, fucking Jabba the Hutt up there.
Yeah.
Ho, 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 and everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, basically, he's like, we've done it.
Yeah.
Congratulations, all the NPCs in there are like, yay, you know. I'm not saying NPC like some alt-right
No.
dude. NPC is literally what it's called. It's called the National People's Congress.
Yes, National
which he's
People's
standing in front
Congress,
of.
yeah.
They're like, yay, we did it. We defeated poverty. Meanwhile, like the rest of the country is like sitting there with their rice grains in the mountains up there going like, what the hell,
Yeah,
dude?
what are you talking
Where's some of my
about?
poverty alleviation?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so it's caused a lot of debate, and actual intellectuals out there are going out and saying like, well, there's absolutely no way this is true, and they're going out there even based on state data and proving it wrong, right? Because what's happened is they're removing a lot of poverty alleviation because in China now it's illegal to say that you didn't defeat poverty.
Sure.
So just like all the Chairman Mao era quotas, right? Oh, we have enough grain. Oh, we have enough steel. Oh, we have a surplus now. It's the same thing. It's the way this system works in China.
Yeah.
Your head is on the chopping block if your village or your area that you lead is not hitting those numbers.
Yeah, so you're supposed to have alleviated poverty.
Right.
And if you haven't, you're going to be in trouble. So what's happened is it's come out already that certain, local government areas have admitted that they falsified the numbers
Correct.
in order to reach those targets. So people are still way poorer, but they just couldn't go ahead and say that because they
Right.
get into trouble.
Right. So now in areas where they had a lot of government funding, where they're pushing stuff in there, a lot of that's being taken away because poverty's gone.
Yeah.
Chairman Xi said, poverty is gone, so poverty is gone. It doesn't matter if your stomach's still empty or if you still have no shoes when you're walking to school.
Yeah.
Or if you don't have, clean running water. Well, no one does. If you don't have running water in your village in China, it doesn't matter because it's gone. If they say it's gone, it's gone. It's how communism works. And the tankies love it. I mean, you have those people out there, those CCP shills.
All they do is they say, oh, look, China alleviated poverty. Look at all the homeless people in LA. It's like that kind of crap.
It bothers me when I see Western people saying this kind of shit because it's like, dude, you have no clue. There's the people on the ground in China that actually know that it's not like that, and they're just lying to your face.
Well, or either that or they live in expat
bubbles.
They just travel around to tourist villages and stuff. They've never actually seen what we've seen, like just in the background here, just a typical everyday village.
Sure. Or you have the people that have never been to China and they're...
This is a town, not a village. But
Sure.
we've been in way worse than this. This is actually pretty good.
Oh, this
when you
is
go
nice.
through the rural
This
parts.
is
This
pretty
is
nice.
developed. You know what I mean?
But anyway, you have the people that don't even live in China that are saying, look at what China's done. They defeated poverty. Meanwhile, we're over here with homeless people and stuff. And it's like, holy shit. Dude, the person in that tent at least gets some food like out of the dumpster, dude. Not saying that's excusable.
No.
Just saying if you're going to make some comparisons, the access to actual infrastructure is way better for that person than somebody in some of these mountain areas that we went to. Long story short, went through some citable references that I thought you guys might enjoy.
Go ahead with your citable references.
In 2010, the Chinese Communist Party fixed the poverty threshold at $2.30 per day. Okay. So this is 2010. So think about this back then. Now, if we look at this empirically, or as someone on the ground might say, to live off of $2.30 a day in China, it would be feasible. It would be a struggle. Because you have to think about this.
Yeah.
This is not just some teenager going to buy instant noodles.
No.
This is someone that needs to pay for a house, that needs to pay for education in China, by the way. Need to pay for their kids to go to school.
Yeah.
They need to pay to go to the hospital. Healthcare is not free. I don't know
No.
why you tankies think it's free to go to the
free.
doctor.
And
in
it could
China.
be incredibly expensive.
Incredibly expensive.
Depending on, if you break a bone or
If you
something.
have something serious, yeah.
Normal little, like medicine's super cheap.
Oh yeah. I mean, at the lowest level, but if you have cancer or something,
No, it's still bloody
don't even
expensive,
pretend.
yeah.
So anyway, you have the situation where $2.30 a day is already a ridiculous poverty threshold.
Sure.
This is a country that's trying to say it's a first world country. It's not developing anymore.
Yeah.
Right. We're going to be the next world global superpower.
Right.
Meanwhile, they fixed their poverty threshold at $2.30. Now think about this for a second. That's in 2010.
In
right?
2010. Yeah.
By 2021, they lowered it to $1.90.
Okay.
So you had 11 years of development where China actually grew a ton, by the way, in those 11 years.
Of course, what do they do with that money? They send spaceships to the moon and Mars.
Exactly.
Build all these ridiculous, big civil engineering things.
Infrastructure. In Africa.
Yeah, exactly. High-speed rail, Belt and Road bullshit.
Right.
But the actual people who need the money, they're just left out to dry.
So you had 11 years of development, and in that period, they lowered the poverty threshold. In that 11 years, prices, and Winston can vouch for me here, prices skyrocketed.
Massively.
It is 2010 China is so much cheaper than 2021 China.
Dude, I was there.
Yeah, no, so was I.
Yeah.
It's astronomically cheaper back then. So they lowered, so you imagine, people have to make more money to survive. They lowered the poverty threshold.
Yeah.
Guess what? They did it again. They lowered it to $1.69 per day. Okay?
Yeah.
So think about that money. Think about the actual money, right?
Yeah.
This is where you come to like the $400-something per year poverty threshold. You're comparing $13,000 at the lowest end of the poverty threshold in the U.S. to $400, right?
Yeah.
Number two, if you make $1.69 a day in China, you are no longer considered poor.
So $1.69 a day.
Right. This is the fact that you need to walk away from. And then number three, it's about extreme poverty, not poverty. So this is the argument that these tankies keep coming back at, right?
Yeah.
They'll say, well, we're not just talking about all poverty. Of course, all poverty is not taken care of. This is just extreme poverty.
Sure.
Right? But somehow Chinese propaganda likes to boast about the fact that they have no poor people.
Sure.
But there is no poor people, right?
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, if you make $2 a day or less, even in a developing country, right, you're dirt poor.
You're poor.
Especially if you're in China.
Sure.
It's way more expensive than what you think.
Yeah.
It's
No,
not Vietnam.
Totally. No.
It's expensive to live in China.
It has changed so much. It really is expensive.
Yes.
All your basic amenities that you have to pay for. Also, don't forget, you can't drink the tap water in China.
No, you
So
cannot.
you have to either buy water bottled, or you have
Correct.
to use electricity to boil water, which still doesn't get rid of all the contaminants and stuff. But,
Right.
just basic amenities like water costs a lot more in China. You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't have parks. Like here in America, it's bizarre to me that you've got water fountains like in the parks that you can drink from. And they've got like a bowl for your dog so you can fill it up for your dog to drink. To me, that's like, mind blown. It's just not, it's not something you can do in China.
No.
You can't go drink. There's no public
You'll get
water to
sick.
drink.
You'll get
You
sick.
can't. You can't. It's just not possible.
So at the end of the day, China's got a poverty threshold of $1.69 per day. You can barely feed yourself. You're not going to feed your kids.
No.
You could never afford to pay the rent.
No.
A rent or a mortgage, right?
No.
At the end of the day, China is a developing country with a per person GDP of about $10,000 per year. That's not everyone. That's what it averages out to. Now, when you compare that with the fact that China is one of the most income unequal countries in the entire world, people keep going on about America. It doesn't have any comparison to China. That's how you end up with $10,000 per year. The U.S. is $50,000 to $60,000 per year, so that's 5 to 6 times wealthier than China, and then a country like Switzerland, eight times richer than China, right? China cannot be claiming to use a poverty standard of $1.69 and continue to drop it down, and then have these people champion it as the leader of eradicating poverty.
No.
You're just moving the goalpost.
Absolutely.
Right? So I thought I'd throw some citable references at you guys so that you can, in case you get into an argument with people trying to throw this, and maybe not an argument, having a conversation with people saying, "Oh, China defeated poverty."
They didn't defeat poverty.
No.
That's something that we have to really keep hammering home here.
Sickling home.
Yeah, they didn't defeat poverty.
No.
So don't see China as some kind of like amazing country that overcomes big obstacles like that, because they haven't. All right. Anyway, that's we said our piece on that one, right? So,
We did. Is there anything else in the world in the world view? I don't.
Yeah. These trucks have got these ridiculous engines in, by the way, that you can see here. It's a big single-cylinder engine in there. It's it's that same one that's used in those tractors.
Yeah.
It's like that old Soviet design. And they just sound ridiculous. And they go like maybe 20 miles an hour max speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're crazy.
You find them in the rural areas a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're death traps.
Oh,
Anyway,
absolutely.
don't spoil all this great
No.
footage.
That, by the way, we'll use that one maybe in our next ADV. That's us driving through a pretty interesting
it's
town,
really interesting
town in
town.
Guizhou. So yeah, we'll use that.
translate everything in the town for you.
Yeah. Our previous one we just did was up in the north in Qingdao. So we'll bounce around.
Yeah,
North,
bounce
south,
around the country.
east, west. We got a lot of stuff to show you.
Everpress.com/ADVChina. We're not leaving yet. Just reminding you, there's only a couple days left on our t-shirt.
Oh yeah, that.
This is
if
not
you
going to
want-
be re-released, by the
No,
way.
this is the last. This is limited
run.
time only. Just like that shampoo. There's only 50 left. But no,
This won't be re-released.
Yeah, we're not going to re-release. It's the last time. If you ever want one of these T-shirts,
I
join
think
the
it's
club.
today or tomorrow's the last day.
Yeah. So join the
Anyway,
club.
let me do some super chats.
Yeah, well,
you
we
can
should-
leave that up there so people can see it.
Okay, all right. He's good at marketing. That's his thing. Sales.
You don't want to sell our merch and have people
No, I'm
wear
just
it?
saying. I'm just pointing it out that we got
Winston
different.
hates money.
No, I really, really, really hate selling stuff.
I gotcha.
I'm not that person.
It's our own product.
Of course, but you got to understand that we're
I don't like
very
selling-
different. That's why we get
Yeah,
along. Okay,
sure.
because we each got our strengths and weaknesses. I
Sure.
cringe so hard when it comes to like trying to sell.
I can't
something.
sell other people's stuff, but
No,
I can.
sure.
I like our own stuff.
Yeah.
Mita blah blah blah. Mitatom no me blah blah. Oh no, sorry. I
Okay.
already read that one.
Right.
Mimi says Ranglish.
Okay. Randglish.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, is that like
I don't know.
South?
what that
It's
is.
like Afrikaans.
maybe.
Rand.
Maybe. Yeah, Afrikaans.
Mr. AB says, I've been balding since before I was 20. I just shave it and own the look. If you got male pattern baldness, stay awesome. I agree. Just
Sure.
shave your head.
Yeah, if that's an issue,
It looks fine.
don't use Simfort.
Ethan Bradbury slamming. CCP is evil enough to make virus biological weapons.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure they are. Sure they are. I mean, there's a lot of speculation.
Didn't say they did. Just,
no, there's a lot of speculation about that.
V. Diddy, will I ever win an argument with my Chinese friend who bought a house in America and shows off foreign brands but remains patriotic about China? It certainly sounds like you won't.
No, look, and that's something that really irritates the crap out of me, is that there are a lot of Chinese people I know as well who live in the States, live in Australia or so on. They're so fiercely patriotic about China. But you wonder, if you are so fiercely patriotic about China, why is it that you are in a different country, you know, using different brands, investing in another country? Surely, if you were that patriotic, you would want to be there. It's like, imagine the biggest American patriot. America, yeah, eagles and stuff, but he's living in the middle of Sweden or something. It doesn't make sense, right? If you love it that much, you should be out there mudding in your truck, you know, or doing whatever rednecks do with dead deer and stuff. You should be doing that. You know what I mean?
God
if
knows.
you're that much, but you know, I digress.
No, I agree with you.
It does irk me a lot, because usually the nationalism that comes from the Chinese people abroad that I've met, it's not just about loving their country. It's also about denigrating the West. You know what I mean? It's usually got that angle to it.
Yeah.
Where it's like, China's great, but here sucks so bad. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's kind of like, it annoys me, you know?
Okay.
Anyway.
I have someone said something about the NFT.
Oh, yeah?
So I'll leave it open for the time being. You guys can still bid.
Okay.
They have some insight.
Oh, they do?
Flying Cloud, thank you very much. Janky Ramen. When I first heard the news about Elon Musk and Tesla, I wasn't surprised in the slightest. Def thought of you guys when it broke. I wonder if Elon was surprised. Surely someone warned him. Yeah.
I got to throw something else in here very quickly. I know we're running a bit behind, but
It's fine.
the same friend of mine who, you know, tipped me off about the whole Tesla thing, because he's watching it as it happened, is the same guy who works for a company. I'm not going to say what kind of company, but he works for a company in China. And what his boss did is there was a company, and they have like 3 bosses basically. And one of the other bosses of the company went off and opened their own company, the same type of company, just across the road. So what this boss did is went and hired thugs to go in while there were clients in that shop and go and like mess the place up and create a scene in order to scare the clients away. It's quite common. I'm actually going to get him in for an interview, because he's got a bunch of stories about that.
Cool.
But it's something that we've both
For sure.
seen and
Absolutely.
heard about. And so this happens quite a lot. And it's the same thing that's kind of happening with Tesla. Is there's an incentive out there to go and make Tesla look bad in order to get the clients away from Tesla. So this is just on a state level rather than a petty squabble between, you know, business partners. You know what I mean?
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, what's next?
Tiananmen Massacre says, my Chinese friends used fake credit cards to purchase airplane tickets and resold them. He thought of himself as Robin Hood by stealing from the corporation and giving it back to the poor.
He's not giving it if he's
selling it.
selling
I was just about
it.
to say, isn't that the opposite of Robin Hood? That's like thiefhood.
Look, there have been a lot of scams. Remember that the Chinese student who was doing the iPhone thing? Where what they would do is they'd get either broken or fake iPhones sent from China to the States. He'd walk into the Apple store and say it's broken, then they wouldn't be able to turn it on because it was, you know, bricked. And then they'd give him a free replacement, and then he'd sell that back to China. And they had this thing going on where he defrauded, I don't know how many millions of dollars worth of free iPhones out of America, and sent to China. It's kind of
I remember that.
Yeah, they're very good at figuring out these little scams, I got to say. Very smart.
Yeah,
when it comes to this kind of thing. I got to say, like, when it comes to scams, we all think about Nigerians and stuff, but China, man, they really know how to scam. Like, it's such a good, like, they're so good at it. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if it's supposed to be an accolade or something, but just the ingenuity that I've seen.
I think it's communism. It's a product of communism.
Yeah, probably communism.
It's the limitations of communism make you have to think outside the box a little bit.
Sure.
The Chad, spot on. Ex-fiance had a master's in bio, defensively argued that in nature, parasites are the most efficient organisms as their hosts must wastefully exert productive labor. She's in middle management at Pfizer in Shanghai.
Oh, interesting.
And that's absolutely true. And that is a unfortunate product of Chinese education.
Yeah, it is.
That is to be looked up upon.
Yeah.
PB says, is cheating prevalent during the Gaokao? Yes.
They've got some high-tech stuff, just like what I was talking about.
Yeah.
They'll have like students that have like glasses with built-in like microphones and stuff.
Crazy.
So that people in a van outside can like transmit the answers to them, you know, and it's got cameras built into it. They bust this high-tech stuff all the time. It's crazy. And then you even have like the more scummy or low-tech stuff where like a rich parent will pay off the teacher
Yeah.
that marks the thing to like switch the names.
Big money.
So that like they'll put the rich kid's name, and like the poor kid that actually passed will fail, and the rich
That
kid
actually happens.
yeah,
That does happen.
That happens. There are cases, then you can read about it. It's a real thing.
I know someone personally that cheated on the Go-Kart.
Yeah. Are we on the Q&A section, by the way?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What do
Why?
you-
I just didn't roll the thing.
Why doesn't matter?
We answer your questions and you question our answers. That's
Yeah.
jumping
Why
ahead.
study for years when you can copy the stuff from the guy next to you? Maybe
Yeah,
a doctor.
correct.
Become a doctor, yeah.
Mhm.
And the doctor thing, that's why there's so many illegitimate doctors in China. It's because of cheating in school.
Yeah, it's
and the fact that you don't need that much of a degree.
yeah.
Saurian
there's,
Sky.
There's interesting stories there. Anyway, yeah.
Do you think a post-CCP China will take responsibility for COVID? That's a very strange question. I don't think it would ever
I don't
be.
think we'll see a post CCP China in our lifetimes.
No, not
anyway.
in our lifetime. Purelica, thank you for what you do. You, China Uncensored, and Epoch Times are the only channels I know who report regularly on China and expose the CCP. We're not related to them, by the way.
Yeah.
We are completely independent of them.
Yeah,
But that's great.
Just
That's-
FYI.
you can enjoy them.
We like China Uncensored a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. Super good people.
He's
there.
awesome.
Yeah.
And
Chris
his team.
is great. and his
Chris
team.
and Shelley, keep
Yeah.
up the great work. I look forward to your videos every week.
Yep.
I just don't like when people say that we're all in the same umbrella. We're
Ah.
very much independent in what we
Yeah,
do.
sure. At the same time, if you've got a common message, it's good.
Yeah, I think it's great.
There's very few
Absolutely.
people. Like
almost
like
none
you
of
said,
us.
there are very few people who actually are willing to speak power.
Yeah.
Speak to power, I should say.
Yeah.
And the difference is our motivation is going to be different from the other channels mentioned
Sure.
there. But at the same time, like when you have to motivate yourself from a moral standpoint, like we do, it's really tough because the only backing that we have are you guys
That's
that
it.
are watching.
That's
us.
literally it. That's all we have.
Yeah, you guys watching us and supporting us through all these various shenanigans that we do here and there. You keep us going, and we're eternally grateful for that. You are the reason that we can continue to do this.
I mean, the thing is, like, not to riff off that, but like, when you have something so political or charged in nature, so like kind of hot, like the stuff that we talk about, it is synonymous with things like think tanks or like political donations, things like that. And we're completely unaffiliated. I mean, we're not
Yeah.
even of the same political affiliation.
Nope.
We're not affiliated with political groups. Everything that we do comes from you guys.
Yeah,
So-
100%. So thank you for
And
being
it's,
a part
and it's
of
only
this.
because you guys support what our own ideology and our
Well,
own
I
thoughts.
I think we're lucky from the point of view that what we do is, as far as we know anyway, is we just tell the truth and we
That's-
share our experiences.
Turns out that works out.
Yeah, and it turns out at the end of the day, it's incredibly hard to refute the truth. You can lie as much as you want about things, but especially since we have a lot of video footage
Sure.
to back this up and all the experiences that
Right.
we have that we can just show and share with you guys.
Yeah.
When you show that, there's no way that someone can
No.
twist that. They try their best, and then they attack us, obviously, personally, to try
Sure,
and
of
delegitimize
course.
us. But the fact of the matter is, what we talk about is the truth. And so, from that point of view, we're strong,
Right.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Anyway.
Next, we
Yeah.
saw Case Close 93. I saw an interview on Barely Informed with Elad, with an American-born Chinese girl at a BLM rally, who is dead serious that COVID came from Italy. Well,
Yeah.
Maybe don't focus on like absolute batshit crazy people.
Yeah.
We don't need to give those people any more voices than they already have. They already have their own.
Absolutely.
Sick lid. Face tattoos are designed to scare the enemy into backing down before the fighting begins.
Certainly works on me. Tell you that much. Holy crap. And nightmares about that.
Oh, shit. Victor Washington, thank you very much. I like your Star Trek thing. Tong Cheong. She wants money to buy 2 new Teslas because a new Tesla is cheap because of China subsidies. And Tesla's competitors want the data. Stay awesome, guys.
Is that about the woman who's protesting?
That would make a lot of
Well,
sense.
I know that she's trying to get some outlandish amount, and Tesla was like, no, look, we're willing to pay for your damages and stuff. We've
Sure.
looked at the data. It is your fault, but we'll still help
They'll
you out.
still help, yeah.
Yeah, but we need a third party to look at it, and then she's like, no, just give me tons of money. So,
But it makes sense that Tesla's competitors want the data to figure out all this kind of stuff.
Obviously.
You know what I mean? This makes perfect sense.
Yep.
Dylan says, I used to live in China long ago, and I love watching your motorcycle videos and touring videos of China. If you guys are ever up in Portland, Oregon, hit me up. I can house you guys. We can motorcycle ride around Portland. Can you take us to those like no-go like Antifa places? Let's go check.
Why would you want to go there?
I'm joking.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for
Appreciate
the.
that.
Thank you. Yeah.
B Pussman says, I mean, the donation.
Thank you. Okay.
What if that was a real name?
It probably is. Let's continue.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Pussman. I'm sorry, B
I
Pussman.
think it's Pussman.
Oh, Pussman. Isn't that worse?
I don't know. Let's continue.
I'm sorry. I'm not making fun of your name.
Yeah,
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
It's probably pronounced really nicely, you know.
Pussman.
Yeah, there we go. Continue. Stop. It's like my sister, like, you know.
What? What's wrong? What's wrong with your sister? Don't talk about your sister in this context.
No, I'm not. No, obviously not. I'm just like, all I want to say is that her husband, great guy, by the way, really nice. You know, nothing wrong. I don't think they ever watch my stuff, but he
says nice things.
His
about
surname
you
is like a very Afrikaans surname, but his family's not Afrikaans, so
It's not Dutch.
So they pronounce it in this like French way. Like, no, it's actually French, and it's, you know, but meanwhile it's like, no, it's not. It's really not. It's like, you know,
I guess
don't, you know, you're not fooling anyone.
I had a friend that just owned it. His last name was Whore, and he was like, I'm just Whore.
No, I mean, the surname's not bad.
Oh, it's not bad.
It's not bad. It's just a very Afrikaans surname.
Right, and that's to explain to you guys, Afrikaans means Dutch. So the Dutch settlers that came to South Africa.
Yeah,
so
but I'm just saying, like,
why is that a bad thing, though?
Well, you see, in South Africa, you've got
You don't need to tell
English-speaking people. From within the white community, you've got English-speaking people like myself, and your ancestors are usually from England or wherever, and your mother tongue is English, and then you've got Afrikaans-speaking people, and their mother tongue is Afrikaans, and there's a big kind of like difference in the cultures, very, very different. So you don't want to be associated with one if you're not one. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's just like, I guess, if you're a French Canadian, you wouldn't want to be seen as a different kind of Canadian. You're a French Canadian, you're proud of it, you know?
I gotcha.
So
it's not a bad thing. It's just that they're not.
I just
Dutch,
think it's funny that it's such a very obvious Afrikaans name.
But they
they're
tried
like,
to dress it
don't
up.
worry, you gotta say in the French way. It's actually French, and you're like, yeah, whatever, man.
It's like making it's like making a fancy dish with just hot dogs.
Exactly,
in it or
you
some shit.
liars, you know. It's like whatever. But yeah, love you guys. Yeah.
Linda Hunter. Thank you, Linda. We always love hearing from you. Hello, fellows. I'm redirecting a bulk of my super chat money to be a patron on this channel.
Wow.
Hope that puts more in your pockets. Oh, we forgot to
Absolutely.
We opened a Patreon for this channel. The reason is that we have personal patrons, obviously, but we often get a lot of the same questions and all that kind of stuff. We wanted to make a separate one for this. We're actually going to post content for this show and all kinds of stuff like that on a Patreon. It's patreon.com/ADVpodcast, and we can actually keep this going. And I want to say, not to sell this,
Salesman over here.
Get us out of there. You got to sell
Okay,
it.
fine. Okay.
Anyway, the reason is that this channel does get demonetized horrifically.
Sure.
So it's nice that and by the way, a lot of the super chats, a little money goes to Google, right?
Yeah.
So it's nice that we can have people support us there. And we're actually going to have an active community. We'll answer your questions there too.
Yeah, but don't turn off people from super chats. It's the
It's
best
some people
thing ever to talk to people.
Super chats are fantastic, and it's what makes the show. But there are people that are like, I'm not going to give super chats because I don't want to give to Google. Well, there's other ways that you can donate to the channel if you want to support us. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Linda.
Thank you for everyone who supports us, by the way.
I really appreciate that. And there will be content up there.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, the whole point is that's actually a video that I put on there of the ADV podcast thing. It is. It was a video.
Oh, it's a video?
The point is, I did some massive lore deep diving into one of the towns we traveled through.
Right.
And I went through some of the government websites on that town that disappeared. It's flooded under a dam now. So I went through the whole history of the town and went through their government documents. And there's a whole campaign there to remove religion and tell people to stop protesting about the dam that's about to flood their town. So we're going to post some cool stuff up there.
Cool.
Levinsner.
I guess it's kind of if you wanted to support either of us on Patreon, but you didn't want to choose between either of us.
I think that's a great place.
Support us there because that's our one. For
but
all our ADVChina, ADVmedia.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you want to support us, that's great. But this is a place where we'll have different content to see too.
Sure. Okay.
Levinsner.
Okay.
Will they eventually shut up, Plane?
Yeah.
Will they eventually lower the credit score? Social credit score of Tesla owners. I mean, it sounds like a joke, but technically could happen.
Who knows?
E. Clay Tomlinson says, if China wants to copy a Western invention, they should try democracy.
Well, unfortunately, communism is a Western thing
it
too,
is,
you know.
yeah.
Karl Marx is German.
They copied the wrong one.
They did. They copied the worst one.
Doglife4444. I can't get over your name. This is the most unlucky freaking number ever.
Yeah.
Navalny says, Putin is a naked king whose crown is sliding from his ears amid mass anti-government protests in Russia. Your thoughts on Navalny? I feel really bad for him. He sacrificed himself for freedom. And he's dying from poison / rotting with tuberculosis in prison.
That's not very good, yeah.
But he threw himself back there, so. Polo Lerma, is all of China mob mentality like this, or is there a silent group of people who think rationally for themselves? Of course there is. And we should definitely address that more.
And you have to understand, though, it is silent.
Yes.
You have to be silent. Yes, amongst friends you can talk about various things, but they're not going to put those opinions of them out there on social media, for instance, or anything, because it can actually get them into trouble. And if you go against the grain in China, life gets very, very difficult for you. So, of course, there's a big silent majority, a minority, I should say. Yeah.
Sick Lid says, Mississippi, West Virginia, Oklahoma, many cheap places here to open a plant. And yes, why not invest in America? Why not? Would it hurt? Would it kill you to buy American?
Yeah, good old Elon,
Elongated muskrat.
Yeah, elongated musk. Yeah, what did you do?
Tyler Durden with 33333. How come the CCP hasn't driven a truck full of money to your home to silence you guys?
I think they'd rather drive a truck full of explosives, to be honest.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Dog Life 4444 says, the wealthiest man in your city, LA, came from South Africa. He owns the LA Times, too. His name is Huang Xingxiang.
Really?
Now that's some South African pride right there.
No, I'm not.
Wait, so he's a Chinese South African? Why is his name Huang Xingxiang?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Do you know who that is?
Nope.
I don't know who that is.
We should look into it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible. That's the thing. Chinese people can become citizens in South Africa, unlike China.
Yeah,
where
very true.
Other citizens can't become citizens. I mean, other nationalities.
Yeah. Get ready for the 3 people that they
spies
that they gave.
Yeah, exactly. that green card picture of that
that one guy
all the time.
Like, what about this guy or an athlete or whatever?
Let's see his Chinese passport.
Trippy Liquids. When I first saw Mao swimming, it instantly reminded me of the time my drunk uncle threw a butterball turkey into the pool at Thanksgiving.
I gotta say,
give everyone 10 seconds. Go on Google Images right now and type in Mao swimming. That's all you need to see.
It's the lamest thing ever. Because I always have to go through this archive footage when I'm making my videos, when I talk about those times of China. And whenever I see Mao flopping around in the water like a half-dead bloated fish, it looks awful. It's like, and he did that as a show of strength, to show how virile he is or whatever, like he's a strong leader. And I look at it and I'm like, wow, just wow. I don't think there's a lazier way to swim, Anyway, I mean, he kept afloat.
Definitely look that up, though. Mao swimming.
Yeah, well, Mao swimming is not a pretty sight.
I just wanted to give people a chance to come back to the stream now.
Okay.
Because they definitely left. I saw some people leave here to go look at that.
To go look at swimming Mao.
Are you back now?
Yeah.
Are you back? Have you swum back to us? He literally looks like a dumpling or something.
It's
like
just
a
whatever.
Rotten corpse.
It's horrible. Yeah.
That was the bullshit thing is everyone is so inspired because like a lot of people in China can't swim. They're like, look at our leader swimming. And I saw the photos of that or the videos of that. And I was like, man, I would lose so much respect for my shit looking fat old leader.
Can you imagine like Biden or someone or Trump or something doing that?
Doing that, just floating in a freaking river.
Yeah,
just floating in a river.
Different times, man.
Different times.
Yeah. Different times.
David Pay. I drove a BYD scooter once and the gear clicked like a toy car. Scooters kids drive. School plays are huge cringe.
Yeah, they are for sure.
B. Diddy, CCP really fumbled the Chloe Zhao beef. Yes. By doubling down on their censorship of her. We should have put that in the show today.
Remember we talked about that Nomadland, that Oscar, it's actually Oscar winning now. It was a nomination.
Yeah. She won.
And she
won.
Props
to her.
Yeah, props to her. I still will never see that movie.
It doesn't matter.
But,
props to you for making it.
I'm incredibly proud of her for winning. It's fantastic. That's great. It's a big achievement. But China censored it and didn't allow that to be shown on Chinese TV because she made some comments which were taken out of context anyway.
In the past.
It just shows how petty they are. You should be celebrating that a Chinese citizen went abroad.
It could have been a huge soft power win.
Yeah. And won an Oscar. I mean, isn't that great?
That's huge.
Isn't that great? Yeah.
China, you could say, they could even spin it. They would do that. It's not fair to Chloe, but they could have said, we won an Oscar.
Yeah.
China, they effed up so bad with that. Absolutely dropped the ball because they're that sensitive.
Yeah.
And another message to you tankies out there is CCP sycophants.
Yeah.
Explain why they had the sense of this. China is this nation that you keep saying is very mature, is while the rest of the world squabbles on arguments and stuff, but they go drive forward because they have the security and intuition and strength behind them. That the Chinese government knows what's best. Then why can't you let Chinese people watch another Chinese ethnically person win an Oscar?
Yeah, what's wrong? What's wrong with
Don't
you?
be a pussy.
Yeah, what we'll do is maybe we'll bring it up next time.
Sure.
And actually some of the reactions.
Breakdown.
and
Yeah,
things.
go through some of the
Yeah, we
reactions.
can get some interesting stuff for you.
Yeah, we'll go on the Chinese internet.
Yeah.
Victor Sukup says, "Hi, first time supporting.
Wow, thank you.
Thank you for all the content you're making. Keep it up. Support from Czech Republic. Also, why would anyone go to China these days?
Well, it's difficult to go anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's near impossible.
Yeah, you have to get anal swabs and the Chinese, you have to get the Chinese vaccine. And if you don't get that, it's ridiculous. It's like you're a Chinese
There's
citizen.
a lot of hoops you have to go through. You can actually bribe. I heard there's people bribing consulates, by the way.
Oh,
You can bribe your way in. You always could.
At the end of the day, though,
Why
the
would
fact that if you have a very good vaccine like a Pfizer or Moderna or something, they still won't let you in. You still need to get the Chinese vaccine as well, which is
Correct.
stupid. Anyway, sorry. Let's continue.
Dog Life 444 says Patrick Soon Xiong or Huang Xinxiang.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
a very strange spelling of Huang Xinxiang.
Yeah.
An ethnic Chinese South African billionaire in LA says, I've completely been disenchanted by the anti-Asian violence.
Good for him.
Interesting.
To be disenchanted. Anyone should be disenchanted
Why?
by violence.
Yes.
If he wasn't, I'd be worried about him.
Yeah.
You don't get enchanted by violence. If you get enchanted by
Disney
violence,
movie?
you're like, oh, violence, it's so amazing. You know what I mean? What is this? What a stupid thing to say.
I mean, it was probably taken out of context.
Maybe.
Probably in something other sentence. You don't just say that.
Okay.
I mean, we're relying on this dude who just posted out of context.
That's true. It's true.
Das ADVMedia says, has another third worlder weeb from a now formerly socialist country that somehow ended up with a Chinese girl. Winston, you are my mood kindred.
Yeah, cool.
Screw Asahi, drink some strong zero for me.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Strong zero for the win. I love that stuff. Remember when we imported it? I think we told that. But, when we were first here in the States, right? And we thought, oh, in America you can get anything, right?
Yes.
We went to all the Asian supermarkets. We went around. We're like, where's the strong zero? We're like searching online. We want to get strong zero. By the way, strong zero is just a very strong alcoholic drink. But it's kind of like it's a cocktail in a can, basically. It's normally citrus flavored. You get different flavors, so like lemon.
But they
or
use
whatever.
fake sugar, so it's not sugary.
So, but it's like 9%. Okay,
strong.
That's why it's called strong zero. But we love it so much. When we went to Japan, it's just amazing. We're drinking it all the time. So we're like, we must be able to get it here. We said, nope, it's not.
Crazy.
You cannot get it in
You
America.
can get anything in America except for that.
Except for strong zero. So we went onto eBay and we got some guy who sells knickknacks from Japan, and he had like a random.
You can't sell alcohol like that.
He had a random selection of strong zero that he'd probably picked up in the local thing. It's like all different flavors, like I don't know, like 6 random cans. And we bought it. It was so expensive, like $100, $120 or something for these 6 cans. And he sent it all the way, and it took like 2 weeks to get to America.
Yeah.
Got through customs though.
We literally paid 10 times markup.
A stupid amount of money for this stuff.
That was last year, right?
Yeah, and we just drank them all like in one sitting.
In one go.
It was like, okay, it was great.
waste.
Anyway, stupid stuff you do sometimes.
True.
Yeah.
Torres. Good things come to those who wait, but better things come to those who work for it.
And you appreciate it more.
Very true.
You gotta really understand. I know from someone who's had almost nothing, and I've been completely down and out. And I grew up in like not the most affluent circumstances and whatnot. Is that when you get to a point in your life when you can afford something, like that 4K TV or whatever that I always wanted and I couldn't get in China.
Right.
You get it and you appreciate it more. It's worth something because you work freaking hard for it. It's not just like I'll just get that.
We are also never rich, so when we saved up for something, you appreciate it.
Yeah, like my shitty car that's constantly being that's being resprayed now. It's something I've wanted my whole life, and it's so tough to get. Finally have it. It's not finished yet, but it's like
it's getting there.
That's something that I appreciate more than a rich dude who buys a Ferrari or something. You know what I mean?
Right. Agreed.
Work for something and it's so much better. It's so much sweeter and you appreciate it for much longer,
Right. Joshua Moolman says, I'm a history enthusiast. I can vouch for what you said about China in World War II is true. Good. Just thought that I'd put it out there to trigger the woo mouth. Thank you.
Yes,
and thank you for doing that.
Appreciate
that.
Yeah.
It is absolutely, those are all citable sources that I was reading. Exa, thank you. Thanks for both the topics you covered on the channels the past 2 weeks. Love the B-rolls as well. Great. Which patron is best to support you? Both. YouTube doesn't deserve a cent. Stay awesome, guys. Well, it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's patreon.com/ADV podcasts.
Yeah, this one right here.
We don't, it's not about dead women. That's not a dead woman, by the way.
No. She's passed out
from photo.
Passed out from drugs that are openly sold on the streets of China.
Correct, but it's just a stock photo.
Sure.
And thank you, Exa. That is if you want to do, oh my gosh. Nothing. Okay. If you want to support us both. I almost said if you want to do us both. I know you don't want that.
No.
I would highly not recommend that.
Let's move on, shall we?
We're going to end up with Chin Gate number 2 over here.
Exactly.
Barb H. It's not much, but I hope this helps a little.
Everything helps. And please, again, we don't ever expect you to give us money. Just by watching our videos and sharing our videos is supporting us.
Absolutely.
And for those of you who are in the position to give us super chats like this, or perhaps support us on Patreon, we are indebted to all of you guys like you won't believe. And we never expect that from you. Nope. I hope you understand.
But we also don't want to be one of those people that don't give anything back. And that's why we answer our messages every single day on Patreon. Yeah. Every day. I don't see other people doing that.
No. And I mean, seriously though, guys, like everything that you do generously give to us is put towards making more content and keeping ourselves going, because there's a lot of challenges in what we do here.
Yes.
Anyway,
absolutely.
Thank you.
Saptarshi Sengupta, how is Chiang Kai-shek and the KMT viewed in Taiwan? Not worshipped.
No, I mean, you go to the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial, which is now called Ziyou Guangzhong, Freedom Square, and you can see a big statue of him. It's actually a knockoff of the Lincoln Memorial. He's literally sitting in a chair and everything, and you go up steps.
Chiang Kai-shek is not super well respected.
No, I mean,
he was a dictator.
Yeah, he was a dictator.
They overthrew him.
Yeah.
So think about that.
Tsai Ing-wen, the current president, everybody loves her. She's awesome. She's awesome. We love her too. She's great. Too. Yeah.
Hontus Farmer, just do what you do, and we'll monetize it for you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very much.
Craig Prescott, thank you. What do you think is the true extent of COVID within China? Have the CCP been underreporting it? Absolutely. Yeah. We've answered that.
Nobody will ever know. But,
I know you haven't heard. Obviously, he wasn't in the other episode where we talked about that.
Yeah, you just won't know because they don't report the inconvenient numbers. It's the same with GDP and everything else. It just doesn't get reported, or it gets vastly underreported. Right. But it's far, far, far more severe than people think.
Right. David Pace says...
was.
Right.
Pretty sure there's like herd immunity by now because everyone's been exposed.
I mean, that's kind of funny that you say that, but there's still hospitals being like incredibly packed.
Sure.
From the people I've spoke to.
Right.
David Pay, maybe Swalwell type simps working in YouTube. I don't know who Swalwell is.
No, neither do
Some sort of governor or something. Made Winston, random question. What's a good source for news out of South Africa? Thanks for all you do.
I think it's news24.com or news24.co.za. Let me double check.
Okay, I'll read another one while. Jonathan K says, I've noticed tattoos are popular with a lot of younger Chinese people, especially living abroad. Are tats popular in China? Yes, they are now. They were not.
Only in places like Beijing and Shanghai.
Yeah. Not in the countryside.
And also, it's becoming more and more frowned upon, so I'm pretty sure soon it's going to be just socially unacceptable again.
Yeah, no, it's government unacceptable, but the young people, it's very, very popular. I did a whole video on it.
Yes, it's news24.com. And apparently, Zulu Queen has died. Which sucks.
Zulu Queen?
It's not Zulu Queen. I guess it's Zulu Queen.
I'm just reading what you're showing
Prince
me.
Mangosuthu Buthelezi has announced the death of Her Majesty Queen.
What?
Shiue
Wait.
Mantfombi.
Prince? Hold on, let me read this.
Yeah.
I'm not going to read the name. Prince has announced the death of Her Majesty Queen.
Yeah.
A prince is a boy.
No, look. Yeah, King Goodwill Zwelatini, and then you got Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, okay? And he's announced the death of Her Majesty Queen.
Her Majesty.
Queen Shiue Mantfombi Dlamini Zulu, okay?
Okay.
Regent of the Zulu Nation.
Rest
in peace.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Queen Shiue Mantfombi Dlamini Zulu.
Good. And
I messed up the second one for sure.
Well, no, what I'm trying to say is that you're not making fun of it. You had to study some Zulu in school.
I had to.
So he's trying to pronounce it correctly.
Yeah.
I didn't try because I don't know any of that.
You know what's really funny is like I think what is it? Thank you in Zulu is Ngiyabonga, right?
Ngiyabonga?
You know when you see those stupid like racist cartoons, they're always like Ungabunga or something.
Yeah.
I think it comes from that. Ngiyabonga.
Oh, because it's that
sounds
word.
kind of similar.
That makes sense. So like the colonialists or whatever would hear
yeah,
that.
would hear that kind of stuff. Yeah,
Gotcha.
I had to learn all that stuff. Fagale daga paga Zulu. Manje, that kind of thing.
Hambagashle. Like I would know it then.
I had to learn Zulu in school. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Not very good at it. I'm terrible.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Jonathan Case, you've just read your thing. Son of a horse. Just give me a second.
Right, catch up.
Okay.
Yeah. By the way, the Zulus are awesome people. I just got to say, I used to work for my dad's construction company, and I used to work, when I was like 16, I used to go work with the guys on site and stuff. And the Zulu guys are all got very good memories of the Zulu guys being very, very tough, very strong, very cool people.
Cool.
Yeah. Zimbabweans were cooler though.
I had Zimbabwean friends. They're awesome.
That's just because, they're just vastly overeducated compared to, the locals in China. What am I saying? In South Africa. They were
in China.
Yeah. Smart people, Zimbabweans, super smart, I was like blown away.
He also asks, do you or your wives have tats?
No.
Not only do our wives not have tattoos, Winston and I do not have tattoos.
Zero.
Either.
Yeah.
It's not something we're proud of. It's just we don't have tattoos. We don't like them.
It never appealed to me.
Never.
Because
nothing is important to me enough to have a tattoo of.
Yeah, I mean, what would you have a tattoo of? You outgrow it. What are you going to have? Like a freaking Star Trek tattoo or Gears of War or something? I don't know. What would you have? I don't understand. What are you going to have as a tattoo?
Yeah, I don't know.
I know this one guy who was
something nerdy for me.
In the 90s, remember when like aliens were like
Dude,
a big
did he
thing?
get one of those aliens?
He got one of those alien head, but it had like a stick figure, like dancing, like a dancing stick figure thing. Oh man, it was the worst thing.
That's like getting a Furby tattoo.
It was so bad.
Oh, you making another NFT for us?
No, this is not going to be an NFT, but it was kind of like the big alien eye thing, and it had like a little stick figure. It was like dancing, something like, but a little bit more like tribal, if that makes sense.
Oh, of course, it's got to be tribal.
It was a little bit tribal, but it was something like this, and he got that tattoo, like a big one on his arm. I mean, think about what he thinks about that right now.
I know.
The guy's like 40.
rough.
The guy's in his 40s now. He must.
Shit.
You know what I mean?
Wow. But yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's like imagine getting like a Backstreet Boys tattoo or something that's just going to be dated, right?
Yeah.
Or you could just be like, that was a chapter.
Just a tribal tattoo's dated.
Dude,
now,
that's got to be one of the worst.
Remember those like tribal tramp stamps? That like every girl got those. I remember that.
Oh, I do.
Like, that's got to be regret.
No hate on tattoos, by the way. It's just we don't think that they suit us.
It just, things change.
Things change too much for me. But I understand. Like, if people find something meaningful enough to get a tattoo, that's cool. That's really cool.
I've seen when people get like a personal tattoo for some specific reason, and like something that helped them through. That's different.
That's cool.
But just like trendy tattoos are silly.
But if it's a tattoo of something I like, I'm gonna think it's cool though.
Sure.
Mattress 5 says ADV Fan Club is my new fan page. Check it out. Oh yeah, somebody made a fan page for us on Instagram.
Oh,
which
excellent.
is cool.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So check it out. ADV Fan Club.
Cool.
Exa from the Ashes. # Free the Michaels.
Yes.
Indeed. Thank you very much.
Never
Exa.
forget that they're still languishing in like a black jail, under terrible circumstances, while the reason they're there, Mengwan Zhou, is living in multiple mansions, not just one.
No, she
can move around, like between her holiday mansion and her main mansion, and she can go shopping for LV bags.
Everyone's shouting alien stick figure NFT.
Well, we'll make a proper one. This one's on like that soakable tissue. So.
But it's the first, and that's the thing. Garrett Connor.
Yeah.
$5. Broski, here's some loony. Come to BC
cool.
and ride our amazing roads.
Thank you.
Jay Leo, just curious and off topic, do you think ABCs or similar can be targeted in fall for art gallery, rickshaw, tea house scams, etc.? Oh yeah,
dude, all the time.
If so, can they blurt fluent Chinese to the scammers just to get out of the situation? That'll help.
You have to understand that these tea scams, of course, they target foreigners. They're the easiest ones, but it's there to target local Chinese people as well. All of these scams have been set up in order to target, out of town Chinese people, Chinese tourists, domestic tourists. And the biggest losers at this, tons of people get hurt, It's awful.
Right.
Anyway.
PB says, extend deadline for Mao NFT, spread it on Twitter and other social media. If you know of NFTs and have enough Ethereum to have a bidding contest, we're not going to do that, and I'll tell you why. We want to end it today because actually, maybe you missed it, but it's been out for a couple of weeks now.
Yeah.
And we want to do it. We want to end it live so that people that actually put their money out there to bid on it can actually get something out of it.
Absolutely.
We're not trying to market it out there. We're trying. This is for our fans. This is for the people that support us.
Yeah,
So
we appreciate you guys.
we're not trying to throw it out there and be like, come join some guy you don't know as NFT.
Sure,
This is for you guys.
Yeah. Thank you. We really appreciate
Thank you, though. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Saptarshi Sengupta,
advice.
what do your Chinese friends think of Wen Jiabao's recent essay criticizing Xi? Is it hypocritical? Because China began closing off while he and Hu Jintao were in power, like banning Facebook and Google. I mean, slightly, but there's elements past censorship. Like China is not. It's not just about like a lot of people only see censorship as something tangible to them.
Yeah.
So like, oh, Xi Jinping did something bad because he banned Facebook and YouTube. It's not about that. It's so much more than that. It's a cult of personality.
Yeah.
It's the stopping of any and all criticism, even within Chinese internet. It's more than just banning Western media.
It's bringing back Mao. You know, now he's taking the term limits off. He can just continue to be a dictator for life.
Right. D-Rex says, hope this helps. A little bit helps. I love both channels. I'm a guy, by the way. Wink. I don't know why you had to point that out, but I appreciate that.
Super appreciate it.
He's like, just let you
Thank
know.
you.
Little secret. I'm a guy. Seth Wilson, do South African passports really have a photo page in the back cover? Check. Do you have your password on?
No, I don't have it on me. Look, it's got just a normal data page like all other passports. I think it's in the same place. Yeah.
Right. Scott Cook says, do you guys know if the ocean would be deeper if sponges didn't grow in it? Makes sense, doesn't it? It would be very slightly deeper, wouldn't it?
It wouldn't change anything.
No, that's a joke.
It's not
That's
gotcha.
the joke, not JPEG.
Gotcha.
Sonder, CCP number 69. That's too cool of a number.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Nope.
Number 44.
Yeah, exactly.
James, take some of my loonies. What's with all this loony talk?
Loonies
This
and
Canadian
loonies and toonies,
stuff.
dude. It's
Sorry, I
awesome.
almost said shit, but I didn't mean that. I
Yeah.
love Canada.
Yeah.
Take some of my loonies and go have a double in and out for me. Thank
Oh
you.
yes,
triple for
definitely.
us.
Yeah, you know, I went and you can actually get more because even though it's not on the menu.
We were 8. Did we do 5x5 ones?
I did a 6x6,
Oh, you did 6x6.
and I wanted an 8x8, but they wouldn't do it.
They wouldn't do it.
They wouldn't do the 8x8, but I got a 6x6, and that was ridiculous. It was just like a meatball, you know.
Did you finish it?
Yeah, of course. It was awesome.
That's awesome.
But it was-
3x3 is enough for me because then it just gets to be too much meat.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I want to be able to get my mouth around it.
Yeah, in
This
and out.
is sounding really
Best
bad.
burger. Best
6x6, get your
Yeah.
mouth around it.
It's whatever. Let's
You know?
continue. Thank you.
Keto bomb, thank you. Kinjiru 731. Gotta ask the important questions. When are you gonna play Mass Effect Legendary Edition? That's to you, obviously.
Oh man, soon actually. I got to get back into that. I've been thinking about sitting down. Not that I have a lot of spare time, but replaying all of them. You know, just to get back into the whole thing. I miss Mass Effect. Yeah, now it's just such a disappointment after Andromeda. You know, so we'll see. Thank you.
Super Kitty, any updates from Matt's family? I wish we could do something to help those who are unreasonably mistreated. Watched y'all for years. Love your unique input. Thank you very much. I do not want to bring up my family currently, just for their safety right now.
Yeah.
Jesse Bolks, Dutch person here.
Thank you.
Do you guys plan on visiting Netherlands in the near future? Also, I'm a big Chinese minority group. Chinese minority group in the Netherlands. I'm curious if you know about them. I do not.
No, that's cool. Definitely. I mean, yeah, I'd love to go there.
I've been in the Netherlands.
Yeah,
but
I've
I'd
never
like to
been.
go again.
I've never been.
We were talking about the red light district the other day, Winston and I. Not to visit. We were talking about how it looks so different. Like when you go in like Google Maps,
Yeah.
it looks so different than something you'd find in like China, where it's
Yeah.
like all this like seedy stuff. In Netherlands, it's like a clean old
It's
street.
just weird. Yeah.
Gel Mibson, what about your Playboy series?
Next time.
Was a great time to spend. Woo! Navalny is a terrible racist, by the way. Wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But what I do know is that our next Worthless Flips video is going to be
It's
the
going to
Playboy.
be Cars of Playboy again. 74, I think.
1974.
74.
We've done 3 or 2?
Yeah, 3.
Oh, 1974. You're right.
Yeah. Can't wait.
J-Man Nice Guy 1492. Is there a secure way of accessing WeChat to avoid being tracked with a VPN? Yes, get on a VPN. All your stuff will be tracked.
Yeah.
But not your location. Turn off your location. Go in that privacy immediately and turn off everything. And make sure your phone settings don't let WeChat access anything.
Because it does gain access to everything. So you got to go turn that off manually.
Right. Pazzaroliazola. I found a way to piss off Wu Maos. Be overly friendly. They'll either get all defensive or just back off immediately. They aren't prepared to be loved. That's cute. Thank you.
Yeah,
Dory
I like
White, thank you for speaking the truth. If there's a translating machine that flips exactly the opposite of what the CCP says, then we'll finally get some truth.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Or if it just changes whatever country they're accusing of doing something to China. So it's like, America does this, but you just change it to China. China does this. It's like, yep.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Daniel, thank you so much, Daniel. I actually just got your email.
amazing.
Sorry, it got buried a little bit. I'll write back to you.
Thank you, Daniel.
Hope one day to see you in Chicago. Here's something to help your channel. Daniel's a bit of a pen pal of mine. Thank you,
great.
Daniel. I appreciate it.
That's fantastic. Thanks. Yeah, I can't wait to try that Chicago pizza. C-Milk says it's better than New York pizza, you know. Keeps going on about it. Yeah.
What are you, the CCP? You're out there to disinform and misinformation is what
That's
you do.
correct. That's what I'm doing.
Real witch. Mm-hmm. Stay awesome. You too, Laowhy, even though you're Falun Gong. We can finally push my video a little bit.
Yeah.
I made a video called "Am I Funded by the CIA or Falun Gong?"
Yeah.
It's worth a watch.
Yep.
PB, new NFT, Swimming Mao as a human plus Jabba hybrid. If you find an artist and make that happen,
It'd be amazing.
Post your renditions on the subreddit, and then we'll consider it, and then we'll donate it to like fat charity or something.
Yeah.
You know, like obese charity or something.
We can donate it to ourselves to lose
'cause
weight.
we are obese ourselves, true.
Yeah. Just kidding.
Colin Didier.
Okay.
Your videos of ghost cities reminded me of work done in 2008 and the economic collapse via the housing market. You guys are doing very important work. It actually changed my investment decisions.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you very much, and I'm glad you decided to divert $21 of that investment decision back to us.
Thank you.
You're putting it in the right place here.
Yeah, this is a good investment.
Yes. Cairo, warm Beijing Yenjing beer fund for Sea-Milk. I can't think of something I want less than that.
Warm Kingway.
Well, warm Kingway would be worse.
Yeah.
You're right. Thank you very much, Cairo. Marath,
Yeah.
just yes.
Thanks. There it is.
To help with your demonetization and to add to your strong zero purchases, I don't think we'll be wasting money on that again.
Yeah.
That was way too expensive.
That was stupid. Yeah. If we're ever in Japan again, though.
Correct. Side note, C-Milk, got some stuff for you when you hit 50 in Final Fantasy. Yes, thank you. Hit me up on Instagram again. Oh, yes. Is it you? I have to say this.
Okay, go for
This guy, I'm not joking. It doesn't matter if you care about video games or not.
Yeah.
So I'm playing Final Fantasy 14.
Yep.
I'm wandering around and I bump into this guy and we're just having a chat waiting for something to happen, right?
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh, are you a new character?" And he gives me 1,000,000 gold pieces. So this is huge, right? It's a lot. I'm like, what the heck? Out of nowhere.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, what's your name? Like, whatever. Like, I'll shout you out live sometime. Look me up, right? And he goes, wait, are you the real Laowhy86? He didn't even know it was me.
That's awesome. What a
Because my name
person.
is Laowhy, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, wait, that's really you? And I was like, holy shit. And he made me all this gear and stuff.
That's so cool.
And here he is giving us super chats.
What a nice, generous bloke.
Blown away. Seriously, thank you. And I can't wait. Kyung Yong Kim. Fun fact. China is called the middle country Zhongguo.
Yeah.
Legend says it's Zhongguo because it's too big to be called a small country, Xiaoguo, yet too petty to be Daguo.
The big Daguo. Yes, it's in the middle.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Cool. Yeah.
Barrier Finn. I like a good bit of Korean humor
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Barrier Finn. People are getting more informed, but I didn't tell everyone. I'm like wicked mad obsessed with some Korean dramas these days.
Oh, really? That's
but not the ones
interesting.
you might think of.
Men crying a lot?
No.
I bet you there's men crying.
I mean, there are some men crying.
There's lots of men crying.
Yeah, there's some excellent stuff out there. Barrier Finn, people are getting more informed of China's atrocities nowadays. Even here in Finland, politicians speak more and more openly about China's problems. We actually follow a couple of Finnish news sources because we love their journalistic integrity.
Yeah, it's very
We
good.
translate them. Big techs. Lots of news last week or two that China is about to announce a census that says about shrinking population, but they might lie instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, the thing is, like, the whole shrinking population thing, that's a demographic issue that everyone knows is a huge complication for China in the future, but the average person won't see it like that.
Yeah, and plus, tons of people died from COVID anyway, so...
Yeah.
You know.
Grant Swalwell is a Democrat on Intelligence Committee who slept with a Chinese spy. Oh, that's that guy. Sorry, I forgot. Separately, do you guys do meetups? We do not. Sorry.
Last time we did a meetup, it was super fun. It was amazing to meet everyone, but things got out of hand.
Yeah, there were some people there that
Well, more people showed up than we expected, and there was
Over 200.
a super dodgy guy that turned up.
It was more than one super dodgy guy that turned
but
up.
like one super dodgy guy turned up.
One very dangerous person.
Yeah, who I really had to de-escalate the situation, and it looked like he was going to do something
Very
very bad.
bad.
So luckily, it was taken care of. So we just got to be careful. That doesn't mean we're not going to have meetups with select, groups of people.
Yeah,
patrons, things like that. It's
but not
different.
public meetups.
Not just like
no.
a hey everyone come meet us here thing.
Gone to those days.
Yeah,
Sorry.
It used to be super fun, and the last one we had over 300 people there.
It was 250, 300. It was crazy.
It's ridiculous. In a restaurant that can seat 30, so
30,
it's built outside. It was crazy.
It was fun though.
Super fun,
But very dangerous.
Yeah.
Dave at 1-1. If the CCP aren't lying about deaths in China, then it's a race-specific virus that's been released. Make it 10 times worse for them. Cheers, peers. Oh yeah, according to their statistics, that's true.
Right.
Craig Prescott, I went to Dalian after watching a video of Winston's to visit that city. Can I have my money back? Seriously though, what is the obsession about? I like Dalian. I don't love it.
Wait a second. My Dalian videos were like, don't go there, basically.
Yeah, my Dalian video is very positive, so
Yeah.
maybe you watched mine. I think
Yeah.
you watched mine. I did like an hour long
I was
one.
just like, in comparison to Shenzhen, it sucks. That was my whole shtick.
I like Dalian.
It's
okay.
It's got its pluses and its minuses. It's kind of nice.
It's very different than Shenzhen.
Yeah,
like
I
it's
know.
different vibes.
It's completely different. But I mean, I don't think you would be encouraged to go there.
No,
From my video.
No.
No.
On my video, you probably would.
Yes, yeah.
John Johnson, will you guys ever go to Korea?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, that's a big one on our list. I actually really, after my crying men dramas, I'd love to see where they hang out.
Oh man,
Go
like
get
when
some
I was studying in the
autographs.
Shenzhen University, I had a lot of Korean students, and they were like showing pictures of in Korea, like, oh, this wall is where this one drama or this one scene was filmed,
Oh,
where this
really?
person cried. I'm
Yeah, I
like,
don't
yeah,
give a
that
shit
makes
about
sense. Everyone's
When I
crying.
say I watched a Korean drama, it's not what it's not what you're thinking. It's not like a soap opera.
It's got that like the hair and the crying.
No,
It definitely does.
no, it's about a woman that's paragliding.
Okay.
And she's rich. She accidentally ends up, a storm comes, she actually ends up in North Korea by accident.
Okay.
And so the soldiers come and like try to kill her and shit,
Right.
but instead they like take care of her and hide her and shit.
Oh,
and
nice.
she's trying to smuggle herself back to South Korea.
See how nice the South Koreans are. They always try to humanize the North Koreans and make them all nice.
They actually do, like
All the
it's
time.
really nice. Like it's
Yeah.
really nice how they portrayed it. It's unrealistic.
Sure.
But it's really nice how they do that because North
By the
Korea is
way,
the opposite.
yes, I'm not saying that North Koreans are not human, by the way.
No.
I just
But
like
what-
they
compared
try
to what
make
you
this-
might think. Yeah.
There's a lot of like very very high profile movies and stuff
Yeah.
which show both sides. Always made in South Korea. Always show that the North Korean
Korea's-
soldiers are reasonable, nice
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, of
You know.
course. And they humanize it, and I think it's great.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's called Crash Landing Into You. It's amazing.
A love story between two different,
It is that, very much so. But it's very good. It's very
Sure,
well
sure,
made.
I'm sure it is.
Scott Hester, in 2010, I went to China to see the World Expo with my family. I was held for 2 hours at customs, and I had security following me everywhere in Shanghai. Security was sitting near me in flights in Hong Kong and Taiwan, and it does happen, especially if you're a high-profile person.
Sure.
Lenora Hamburg, how do you feel about frozen yogurt? It's
I love it.
super lame ice cream.
No, I love
ice
it.
cream's way better than frozen. Frozen yogurt can get effed.
Frozen yogurt tastes so much nicer to me. It's less sickly sweet. Come on. See, we don't
such
agree on everything. So it's
garbage.
good. No,
It's
whatever.
such-
It's healthier.
It's shit. It tastes sour, like bacteria, like yogurt.
It's
I don't
great.
really like yogurt that much. I like yogurt as a salty thing.
Okay,
Like-
yogurt is a salty.
You know, like in Greek yogurt, like you put it on like a shawarma or something.
Oh, like
you know
that.
what I mean?
Yeah, I got
like
that.
like Mediterranean.
Yeah,
I like
that's
that.
not bad, but still, frozen yogurt's awesome.
Lame. Max, pacifism.
You
is...
watch Korean dramas and you're calling me lame?
I was already
Just
called
like-
lame by you. I have nothing to lose.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Nothing to lose. Pacifism is simply a willingness to let others suffer and die at the mercy of the world's thugs, while demonizing the hard work of deciding, in each case, whether violence is justified. What do you think?
Yeah, maybe.
I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, to be pacifist means you don't really have a stake in anything, do you? You just sit back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just like, I'm not getting involved. I'm a pacifist. I guess.
Sure.
I guess so.
I would agree with that in some scenarios.
Cool.
Salisbury says, I'm a student in a Chinese university. Some people think that being ignorant is safest, but I think not knowing what topics are sensitive is more dangerous. And that is great advice for
Yes,
people.
absolutely.
Know exactly what you should be avoiding talking about.
Yeah.
We got 500. I can't tell if that's yen or yuan. That's a yen
That's
symbol.
yen.
Okay.
Yeah. So it must be Japanese yen.
I say that because they're the same symbol.
character, yeah. Or maybe it is Chinese because of the
Ping
name.
Xing Shikong is his name, which is very Chinese.
Yeah.
Winter Phoenix Forest
Thank you.
Kieran. Some quick recommendations. Legend of the Blue Sea. It's okay to not be okay. Oh, I heard about that one. It's My Ghostesses, and K-dramas are actually extremely artistic and beautiful. Try them. I'm not trying to convince you, Winston, but I'm changing my mind a little bit about some of these
It's
shows.
fine. I mean, I just like
They're well
my
made.
wife watches Korean dramas all the time.
Maybe she's watching
all
shit
Chinese
ones.
people love.
Maybe they're
Korean
watching
dramas.
some crap
Yeah,
ones.
but that's the thing. Like all I ever see when I look over at her iPad is men crying. Like
Oh, okay.
boy, you
No.
know, like those look like a doll, really. You know, the boys they look, you know, it's like always
I'm not gonna
super
argue with
made
you.
up.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
that swish hair.
Oh, I won't watch
And-
Swish Hair ones.
And it's like crying. Every time I look over, there's some guy crying, and I'm like, dude, like, is that what they have to do? And then I looked it up, and it's a skill that Korean actors need to have in order to be an actor. They have to be
cry.
able to cry on command. It's
There's
a huge thing.
There's a lot of crying.
There's a lot of crying in Korean dramas.
Yeah.
And I can't handle that. To me, it's
Sure.
like, come on, dude.
There's another one I was watching called Reply 1988, and that's cool because it's a period one from the 80s, and it's like 80s high school students. So it's all the tropes like cassette tapes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I like
I'm
that.
not saying Koreans don't make good stuff, by
They
the
make
way.
some good
They make
shit, dude.
amazing, like, movies and stuff like, you know, Old Boy and whatever.
Yeah.
There's some good stuff. I like a lot
Yeah,
of
I
Korean
just
stuff.
the reason I wanted to talk
Yeah.
about that was because I was discounting all of them. I was like, I would never watch that shit.
Yeah.
And my wife's like, just try this one out. And I watched it. And I was like, this is wicked good. So,
When my wife suggests I watch a Korean drama, I will ignore it.
well, you're missing
Just-
out. It's
Just
fantastic.
kidding. Just kidding. I will
Jennifer,
now.
COVID has always been regional. Bosses hiding the COVID on their plates under their beds and hoping that dad doesn't notice, but it spreads worldwide.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
pretty well said, I guess.
Oh man! Wow.
Yeah, sorry, we went way over, but
NFT time.
yeah, we cannot end yet, guys.
no,
I'm
no.
going to post the link one more time so you guys can watch the process.
Okay, let's get that
so
up
check
on
the
the
chat.
screen. So let's get where's the NFT? It's what are we looking at? All this? There it is. There it is.
If you check the chat, it is up there right now. I'm going to give you guys about 30 seconds. As I pull it up here, I'm going to select a winner. The bidding is currently at half of an Ethereum.
It's awesome.
That is absolutely incredible.
I never in my wildest dreams would I expect that we'd make anything out of this. You know.
That is unbelievable. I can't believe it actually got to this level. Should we have a countdown?
Okay, let's do it. Start 10-second countdown.
Okay, I'll let
So,
you do it.
all right.
While I get it ready.
Ready?
I'm going to select the winner. Everyone go on the website, by the way, if you want to watch this happen.
Oh, sure. Let's figure it out. All
go
right.
ahead.
10, 9, 8. Oh, I should do. Hang on. Let me do it in Chinese fashion.
Okay.
10. Okay. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
And here we go. I'm going to select the winner. And the winner goes to, well, he's anonymous, unfortunately.
The winner goes to sign into your wallet.
The winner goes into sign into your wallet.
Obviously, we've never done this before.
So
You didn't forget that password, did you?
No. I did not.
Technical difficulties. We're figuring it out right
Well,
now.
actually, it doesn't matter. That person got it. I
Yeah.
clicked it. I just need to transfer it to you right now.
Okay.
So what I do want that person, if you're watching, the person that just won the NFT, I need you to reach out to me so I can get your address to send you the actual NFT with the.
Not the actual NFT. He has the actual NFT.
I mean,
The
both.
actual original Malicious Mal.
And
which
we're
will come
gonna
with
print out a sign. We're gonna sign it.
We're gonna sign it, put it in an authentication certificate, and gonna send this to you. Of course, if you want to
Get a hold
remain
of us.
anonymous, let us know.
Yeah, of course. We're not gonna tell everyone who it is. And
Oh, we'll never let. But I mean, if you
No.
didn't want us to send it because you don't,
Sure.
want, just let us know.
just let us know.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate it.
It's been a hell of a thing, guys. It's been so much fun having you here, and we hope that this was entertaining for you and informative as well. And remember, you are part of a very important discussion here. We're talking about things that most people don't. They're either too afraid to talk about them, or it doesn't suit them. It's not beneficial to talk about, because it's not beneficial to talk about this stuff. Because it gets you a lot of hate, it gets you a lot of trouble, it gets you in the crosshairs of a lot of nasty people. And that usually puts people off, but not us. Don't worry. We're sticking around. And because of you guys, we're not going anywhere.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you so much.